voice is working a little better. Yeah, hey, Chatterbox 59. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. We're live and on air with you yet again. Looks like Engelhardt is taking another sick day. Unfortunately, hope he feels better soon.
Yeah, poor little fella.
Me and Day and potentially Mr. Data Murphy might join us. I did send him the link to join. He may watch. He may join. It's up to him. He's welcome either way.
Yeah. I wasn't familiar with him.
Like a fucking radio host now. I feel gross almost a little bit inside.
Yeah, you're starting to sound like fucking James Von Maxwell all of a sudden.
Well, that's what I was saying the other day. I fucking wore my voice out on VR chat because I was getting such a kick out of it.
Yeah, that shit seems pretty goddamn fucking fun, dude.
It's so fun, especially when you have people to play with.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting idea, man. I can see people getting sucked into that, like a real time killer, man.
Okay, I'm sending a link to Dave to watch. I think to watch if you don't want to join. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I had to get that little piece of housekeeping done on Twitter.
No worries.
Let's see here. I got a funny article from Berkeley. Surprise, surprise! For some odd reason, a lot of Berkeley cops are quitting.
Wow.
You take away their tasers. You force them to watch as people destroy the town that they have sworn an oath to protect. And I think it's something like 26%. They're down like 26% from like this time last year or something like that. Wow. Oh, wait, here, I've got the numbers right here. Let me screen share. Get this going. So I actually have some idea what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just pretending, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Share. What? Nope, that's the wrong one. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to pull up, dude.
Oh, yeah, we're going to go over that one for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we might have some viewers. So, hey there, viewers. Nice to have you join us. So, yeah, essentially the city of Berkeley is losing police in droves. They just recently had tasers taken away from them. They were denied tasers, which is strange because you would think, especially in a liberal city, that they would want more non-lethal options.
Yeah, that is pretty weird, man. So these fuckers,
but essentially, out of a force of 140 cops. So in 1999, there were 215 cops. They got down to, I think, 206, but 26 members actually quit in 2017. Oh, wow. So they actually they don't give them the vehicle dash camera either. The police officers wanted it.
Oh, dude. Does it give a reasoning for that? Why they wouldn't give them a dash cam?
Oh, no. Well, they don't cover any of that in here.
Okay.
I'm leaving this up for people that might be interested in the numbers. Let's see. As Blue Lives Matter notes, in 2016, Berkeley cops responded to 78,000 incidents, conducted over 3,200 arrests, issued 5,600 citations, and reported only 32 uses of force. So that is a pretty intense load of cases for, roughly 200 cops over the course of a year. That's a lot to be asking. And it's probably not all that drastically different from most places, but they're going to be down to less than 140 here. And not that long because they're quitting in such large amounts. I was watching an interview earlier about this, and the police captain, who's like a new police captain, or not a new police captain, but he's like dealing with this whole situation because he was there like the whole time. He's seen the force when it was at its highest in like the 70s. Right. And now it's at its lowest. And he was like, well, the commute is really rough for a lot of the cops. And I'm like, they're not fucking quitting from
the commute.
Man, come on.
The commute is why they're quitting. Yeah, they didn't know about the commute before they worked there.
To be a little more honest, it's having to watch Antifa fucking run their fucking town. I mean,
well, Dave's in the chat, by the way.
Oh, hey, man, nice to have you there, man. But yeah, like from what I understand, in a lot of these areas, like in Portland and in Berkeley, around the school area, there's like like a sort of a zone where like Antifa essentially sort of runs the streets. Yeah. Like there's like Antifa graffiti all over the place. They beat people up if they're crossing whatever bizarre fucking line they've made.
Wow. So they're a fucking gang,
dude. Yeah, essentially, yeah. Well, I mean, they're Black Bloc. I mean, they're the anarcho-communists.
Yeah. I'm just surprised to see them actually acting like the gang, dude. Like, you know what I mean? They seem to posture a lot, but I guess in Berkeley, if they're going to be a gang somewhere, that would be the place to do it. Did we
cover several of the Antifa leaders, supposed leaders? I don't know for sure. But the FBI knows for a fact that they went and trained with ISIS.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, there was like an article about that, and it looked to be pretty legit. So, I mean, you never can tell these days with the news. Half of it's fucking made up at this point. But that one actually looked pretty legit. I mean, it was like FBI documents that they were quoting. So, it was pretty disturbing if you think about it that way.
Yeah, just letting them run fucking roughshod, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Well, and it's not surprising if you look at the way the communists have teamed up with the Islamists in what's that? Oh, god damn it! I can't think of the fucking name of it. A giant organization of all the countries that pretends it's going to keep the peace and really just fucks over like
United Nations, NATO.
Yeah, the UN. Essentially, like the Western nations had like a pretty unstoppable voting bloc, and at a certain point, the communists started teaming up with the Islamists because they were like, "Hey, together we can actually be sort of like we can stonewall everything the way we want it in the UN."
Interesting. Yeah.
And so it's not really surprising that the Black Bloc, which is, Antifa and all their other, anarcho-capitalist group or communist groups, not anarcho-capitalist, anarcho-communist groups would be, like anti-Semitic, working with ISIS, pro-Islam. Oh yeah, Dave, that's fun. If you're down for listening, that's cool, man. We always appreciate that.
Yeah. Any fans we can get, man.
Yeah, really. Well, hopefully
we don't enjoy just screaming into the void, but it's nice to have people watching occasionally.
It is. I don't know. It is kind of fun though. Scream in the void enough, and the void screams into you, right? Something like that.
Yeah. That happened years ago, dude. Now it's my turn to scream.
I don't know. I used to work with a couple of guys that were pretty funny, and one of them at one point literally wrote up a contract and sold his soul for like a 6-pack of Bud Light.
Damn, dude.
From the other guy. So the other guy was like, "Hey, remember, man, I still got your soul if you ever want to buy that back."
It's gonna cost you more than the 6-pack, you dumbass.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was pretty fun. God, those guys were crazy.
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine did that with the fucking 20-sack of weed, dude.
20-sack of weed. I feel like the 20-sack of weed might actually be more valuable though, depending on when and where.
Right.
Like if it's pre when it was legal, like if it was still really illegal, that might have been more value.
Oh yeah, this was fucking probably late teens, early 20s.
Oh yeah, so definitely before it was legalized anywhere.
Yeah.
Although it looks like they might be going after it again, or at least going to start raiding some of the places and taking the money again, like they were doing for a while.
Yeah.
With, Jeff Sessions. It's a little weird.
Yeah, I'm surprised, dude, that Trump isn't kind of shutting that down. Like, they claim he's a populist, man, and
well, what's really surprising is he opposed the continuance of the secret surveillance deal. The one where they basically have like secret courts with secret definitions of the Constitution in order to justify like wiretapping pretty much whoever they fucking feel like.
Yeah.
He was like openly against that. He was like, "I don't think we need that."
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah,
that
and yet he's anti-pot, like hardcore anti-pot.
Yeah, the juxtaposition. Well, they did use that to spy on him during the fucking election, which is surprisingly not more talked about. I think that's a pretty major issue.
Yeah, the fact that they kind of Obama and them came up with a bullshit thing.
The opposite party used the secret fucking surveillance act in order to spy on a political rival of his, party. That's pretty fucking not okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you call Obama on that, you're obviously racist.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's been an ongoing issue throughout my life. Oh man,
Jesus, dude.
And then something a little later I thought that was kind of funny. Hold on, I gotta close the thing that tells me I'm blocking the ads. And I'll feel bad later, I swear.
Yeah.
This is from a little while ago, like 6 months ago, like in June 2017. But they're considering bringing wolves and bears back to the British countryside.
Yeah.
So as of right now in the UK, you can go camping and stuff, and you don't have to worry. There's no wolves, there's no bears, but there's a lot of deer. And so they're actually thinking of trying to control the deer. But also, they've already reintroduced beavers, water voles, pine martens, and dormice to the parts of the UK where they've become extinct. And now they want to start bringing in like wolves and shit.
Yeah, introducing that shit back in like that never causes any issues.
Well, I mean, it would bring back, so like it worked really well in the Yellowstone area.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Yellowstone area is way healthier now that they brought back wolves, because when the deer stopped eating everything down, a lot of other animals came back, like birds and other small mammals.
Right.
So there is that for it, but
yeah, I don't know if you want to bring something in that's capable of like killing people.
I would think it might even be a better way of handling it by cutting down on the deer yourself, by hiring people to go out and just kill deer. And harvest
relaxing
the carcass.
Any hunting restrictions,
like soup kitchens and stuff. Like put like a certain dollar value on deer, and issue a certain number of licenses to go out, and so that you're controlling how many they're culling, and have people go out and kill massive quantities in order to feed the hungry or the poor or something.
Yeah. It can definitely have multiple uses, man. Besides, again, thinning the herd to acceptable levels, you're fucking feeding people.
Yeah. Well,
the vegetarian homeless are still screwed, though.
Yeah, really, that's true. The vegetarian homeless. Man, if you're a vegetarian and you're homeless, that doesn't make sense to me. But
that's dedication, though. If you're a vegan, I guess it's not vegetarian.
Well, I know when they catch poachers in places like Alaska and Maine, the poachers don't get to keep the animal, but they don't let it go to waste. They literally do. They call out people who bring it in and butcher it for soup kitchens.
Yeah,
that's why I was thinking that. Because I know they do that in other parts of like the U.S. So I wonder if that might be a good answer.
Yeah, it would definitely make more sense than bringing in, again, animals that can definitely kill humans.
Oh yeah, exactly. Date asks, what about Cardassian voles? Oh man, I don't know if we want those anywhere. I know in my city they brought back turkeys. I've said that before, but that still pisses me off. Because I live in a city, it's not the country. There's very little agricultural land, so you're in a fucking you're on like a 4-lane road, and there's like a shopping center on one side and like a bunch of fucking like little auto shops and oil change places and little shops on the other side of the road, and there's like 6 fucking turkeys walking down the fucking street.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
It's the city.
What's the fucking purpose of that, dude? That's crazy.
They were reintroducing them to their natural habitat, the fucking city downtown.
Yeah, well, they used to live here, back before all the concrete and shit. So let's reintroduce them.
Yeah, they can hang out on Town Hall. Oh man, like Town Hall, like our city hall has like essentially, like, most suburban houses, like maybe about twice that amount of lawn, or maybe 3 times at most. Right. So it's not a huge city hall, but it's not like tiny either. And let's just reintroduce all the turkeys there in a pen so that we don't have to deal with them and they can fucking deal with them.
Right.
And then they don't have to worry about people camping out there again, because during like Occupy, that was all taken up by a bunch of people.
Oh, wow. It's fun.
We had our own little Occupy movement, because it isn't a huge city, but it was like maybe, like, I don't know, 40 or 50 people total, like camping out on City Hall's like lawn. And we're still fucking left in California. I don't know why they were camping out there and what were they protesting, because like
they honestly probably just
government.
They had nothing better to do. Like, fuck it, let's just occupy them. We don't need a reason. Let's just, it'll make us feel important. And again, we got nothing better to do.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Nope, there goes my voice getting rough again.
You're not gonna make it, dude.
I'm gonna make it. I'm just gonna start sounding like fucking Seth Rogen instead of like a radio guy.
I forgot about that. You do sound vaguely like Seth Rogen, dude.
I get that all the time in VR chat, dude. Like, everybody's like, "Hey, dude, are you Seth Rogen?" I'm like, "Yeah, totally Seth Rogen."
Yeah, that's pretty good, dude.
Pretty sure Seth.
Yeah, I never noticed it until somebody said it. I can't remember who pointed it out, but yeah, I was like, "Holy shit, he really does."
Well, like let us rise up. Oh, god damn it! Now my brain got confused. Poor brain. But like, they keep asking me, but I don't have VR. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Seth Rogen can afford the $600 for a Vive.
Right.
Like, if he was playing VR chat, I think he'd have a VR setup, Just thinking.
Although that could be his trick to further take himself undercover.
That would actually probably work.
Yeah, the real Seth Rogen's like, yeah, I'm gonna pretend I can't afford this shit. That way, it'll never think it's me.
Now, the real Seth Rogen is William Stenchever. That's the real Seth Rogen. Yeah, no, the whole time he's been lying to us,
trying to throw us off.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's say stabby sound like.
That's why he goes on. That's why he listens to our stream. He's just so egotistical. He has to hear his own voice, essentially.
Yeah. Where is he, dude? He's fucking not here. Usually he's one of the 2 people that actually shows up. We got no Akinaro. We got no Stenchever, man.
Well, I think Stenchever got mad at me.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Tonka shit? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, because I was dipping my toes into the drama pool, making fun of people.
Okay. I forgot.
Yeah.
Right. No mentioning.
Oh, yeah.
Although it reminds me, dude, I had a fucking, for some reason that, have you ever seen this in Goodfellas where they know the wires are tapped? So they'd have their wives talk on the phone until they heard the feds click off. And then they'd fucking hurry up and then grab the phones from their wives or whatever. For some reason, dude, I don't know why. That scene's been stuck in my head. But
I don't know if we've ever watched the Goodfellas.
Oh, seriously?
But yeah, I have obscure movie taste, man. I really just love terrible 80s style movies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is it Goodfellas or am I confusing it? Oh, no, it was Casino. God damn it. It wasn't fucking.
Oh, was it Casino? Okay.
It's Casino, dude. Yeah, Casino. Basically, the feds have them tapped. Or it might be Goodfellas. I don't know. It's one of those 2. I'm fucking positive.
To be fair, I haven't seen either of them, so we're good either way as far as I'm concerned.
Casino is actually really fucking good, dude. But yeah, they do that.
They're basically movies. I just never watched them.
Yeah, they basically have their wives talking to each other, and then you can kind of hear it on the line when the wiretap like clicks off, because I guess they say basically the law is like they can't listen for over a certain amount of time or whatever, some bullshit, if nothing criminal is being talked about. So yeah, the wives would hear that and then they'd be like, all right, here you go, and then hand the phones to their husbands.
Well, I bet that's not the law anymore at all.
Yeah.
Listen to whatever you want for as long as you want.
Right. But yeah, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but Yeah, that scene's been stuck in my head for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, did you have anything else, or do you want to get into the Aziz Ansari?
I was going to get into the Aziz Ansari or
Aziz Ansari
and Aziz Ansari. I can't say his name.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to that article because that's interesting. Aziz Ansari. Okay, Aziz Ansari. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to read the article, or do you want to have me do that?
All right. Yeah, I can read it, dude. Yeah. Let's see. Is this the one on babe.net? Is that the one you got?
I took the one you took.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is this subject thing is I went on a date with Aziz Ansari. Now I can't fucking say it, you fucking asshole. All right. It turned into the worst night of my life. This is by Katie Way, but that's not the person that's actually relating the story. So it says, I guess it is written that way. Okay. It says she approached him because she recognized his camera flash, and Aziz Ansari was taking pictures at the 2017 Emmy Awards after party with a film camera, not a digital one. I stood up and I'm like tipsy at this point and feeling really confident. I'm in a gown and I walked up to Aziz and said, "What did you just shoot with?" It says Grace is a 23-year-old Brooklyn-based photographer, then age 22. We are not using her real name to protect her identity because she is not a public figure. She says Ansari brushed her off at first, but after he realized they both brought the same kind of camera to the event, an old model from the 80s, he was impressed. They flirted a little. He took 2 pictures of her. She snapped some of him. And then she and her date went back to the dance floor. It was like one of those things where you're aware of the other person all night, she said. We would catch eyes every now and then. They ran into each other one last time right as Grace was leaving. At Ansari's suggestion, she put her number in his phone. When her plane landed back in New York the next day, she already had a message from him. They exchanged flirtatious banter over text for a week or so before he asked her to go out with him on Monday, September 25th. Glad they have the date put in there. That's nice. The date didn't go as planned. It seems like overkill, but okay. The date didn't go as planned. The night would end with Grace in an Uber home in tears, messaging her friends about how Ansari behaved. Fuck, dude. God damn it. I literally have never had any problem pronouncing that until you punk ass, dude. All right.
I didn't do it on purpose, man. I just couldn't say his name for some reason.
Now it's in my head for some reason. Okay. Okay. Babe spoke to the first friend she told about it and reviewed the messages on her phone. The day after the incident, she wrote a long text to Ansari saying, "I just want to take this moment to make you aware of your behavior and how uneasy it made me." To that message, Ansari responds, "Clearly, I misread things in the moment and I'm truly sorry." The mobile phone number from which his texts to her were sent matches up with his details on a searchable public register. Good to know. We spoke to Grace last week. When we met, Ansari had just won Best Actor for his Netflix show, Master of None, at the Golden Globes, where he declared his support for the fight against sexual assault and harassment by wearing a Time's Up pin on the red carpet. Grace said it was surreal to be meeting up with Ansari, a successful comedian and major celebrity. Jesus, I can't pronounce anything. And she was excited for their date. Before meeting Ansari, Grace told friends and coworkers about the date and consulted her go-to group chat.
Wait, hold on for just a second here. Just look at this picture. She was excited to go out with that. Clearly, her judgment is flawed, I think, from the beginning.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to throw that in there. All right. Go ahead and continue. You're at she should wear to fit the cocktail chic dress.
And the cocktail chic dress code he gave her. She settled on a tank top, dress, and jeans. She showed me a picture. It was a good outfit. Fucking great. After arriving at his apartment in Manhattan on Monday evening, they exchanged small talk and drank wine. It was white, she said. I didn't get to choose, and I prefer red, but it was white wine. Yeah, I love how they get the important details down. Okay, then Ansari walked her to Grand Banks, an oyster bar on board a historic wooden schooner on the Hudson River just a few blocks away.
Okay, pause for a second here. I want to point out this is a common tactic. God damn it. This is a common tactic of including a whole lot of detail that's really unnecessary to prove that you're telling the truth.
Oh, gotcha.
An incident. So to me, it's a little suspicious that they're going into all of this setup stuff and going into all these details that are really unnecessary. Like they're really trying to make a case and they really want to convince you.
Yeah.
They just throw enough random details of just innocuous shit that doesn't fucking matter. Like what her dress was, what day it was.
Specific date. Yeah. It was September 25th.
Kind of everything that's going through her head and how she felt. Totally immaterial to the situation.
Look how true this is.
Yeah, so it's a pretty common tactic.
Okay, that makes more sense now. I wasn't aware of that. Anyway, let's see. Okay, but who fucking cares? Like, yeah, I get it, but okay. She said it was a beautiful, warm September night. They discussed NYU comedy and a new secret project he was working on, but she says she did most of the talking. Oh shit, I went too far. God damn it. Where are you? Grace says she sensed Ansari was eager for them to leave. When the waiter came over, he quickly asked for the check, and he said, like, let's get off this boat. She recalls there was still wine in her glass and more left in the bottle he ordered. The abruptness surprised her. Like, he got the check, and then it was bada boom, bada bing, we're out of there. Okay.
Yeah, that's her trying to make sure she didn't get drunk.
Right.
Claiming she didn't.
Yeah, and also to sell the fact that he just wanted to bring her back and fuck her. I assume that's part of it, too.
It does look like a really nice spread.
Yeah. All right, where we at? They walked the 2 blocks back to his apartment building, an exclusive address on Tribeca's Franklin Street. More unnecessary detail. Where Taylor Swift has a place, too. Really unnecessary. When they walked back in, she complimented his marble countertops. According to Grace, Ansari turned the compliment into an invitation. He said something along the lines of, how about you hop up and take a seat? Within moments, he was kissing her. In a second, his hand was on my breast. Then he was undressing her. Then he undressed himself. She remembers feeling uncomfortable at how quickly things escalated. When Ansari told her he was going to grab a condom within minutes of their first kiss, Grace voiced her hesitation explicitly. I said something like, whoa, let's relax for a sec. Let's chill.
Now let's pause here for a second. How exactly is whoa, let's relax for a sec, let's chill explicit?
Well, it's
not. It's really sort of a vague thing. It's not like this super fucking defined moment.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point that out because it's really dishonestly worded.
Yeah. Well, for a little foreshadowing, that's going to be a pretty common theme.
Okay.
Okay. She says he then resumed kissing her, briefly performed oral sex on her, and asked her to do the same thing to him. She did, but not for long. It was really quick. Everything was pretty much touched and done within 10 minutes of hooking up, except for actual sex. She says Ansari began making a move on her that he repeated during their encounter. The move he kept doing was taking his 2 fingers in a V shape and putting them in my mouth, in my throat to wet his fingers, because the moment he'd stick his fingers in my throat, he'd go straight for my vagina and try to finger me. Grace called the move the claw. Okay.
Is anyone surprised that Ansari is not very good at sex? According to Grace. I mean, are we all surprised?
Right. Right. Ansari also physically pulled her hand towards his penis multiple times throughout the night, from the time he first kissed her on the countertop onward. He probably moved my hand to his dick 5 to 7 times. Okay. She said he really kept doing it after I moved it away. Okay, but the main thing was that he wouldn't let her move away from him. She compared the path they cut across his apartment to a football play. It was 30 minutes of me getting up and moving and him following and sticking his fingers down my throat again. It was really repetitive. It felt like a fucking game. Throughout the course of her short time in the apartment, she says she used verbal and nonverbal cues to indicate how uncomfortable and distressed she was. Most of my discomfort was expressed in me pulling away and mumbling. I know that my hand stopped moving at some points, she said. I stopped moving my lips and turned cold.
None of which is saying, no, stop.
Yeah. Again, common theme here. Whether Ansari didn't notice Grace's reticence or knowingly ignored it is impossible for her to say. I know I was physically giving off cues that I wasn't interested. I don't think that was noticed at all, or if it was ignored. Okay. Ansari wanted to have sex. She said she remembers him asking again and again, "Where do you want me to fuck you?" while she was still seated on the countertop. Pretty smooth. Gotta admit, that's a fucking great line. This guy's so fucking awkward. All right, well, she's still seated on the countertop. She says she found the question tough to answer because she says she didn't want to fuck him at all. I don't want you to fuck me? That seems like, okay. Yeah, I wasn't really even thinking of that. I didn't want to be engaged in that with him. But he kept asking, so I said, next time. And he goes, "Oh, you mean second date?" And I go, "Oh, yeah, sure." And he goes, "Well, if I poured you another glass of wine now, would it count as our second date?" That's not bad. All right. He then poured her a glass and handed it to her. She excused herself to the bathroom soon after. All right. Grace says she spent around 5 minutes in the bathroom collecting herself in the mirror and splashing herself with water. Then she went back to Ansari. He asked her if she was okay. I said, "I don't want to feel forced because then I'll hate you, and I'd rather not hate you," she said. She told Babe that at first she was happy with how he reacted. He said, "Oh, of course. It's only fun if we're both having fun." The response was technically very sweet. Yeah, not bad. The response was technically very sweet, and only technically. Very sweet in acknowledging the fact that I was very uncomfortable. Verbally, in that moment, he acknowledged that I needed to take it slow. Then he said, "Let's just chill over here on the couch." This moment is particularly significant for Grace because she thought that would be the end of the sexual encounter. Her remark about not wanting to feel forced had added a verbal component to the cues she was trying to give him about her discomfort. When she sat down on the floor next to Ansari, who sat on the couch, she thought he might rub her back or play with her hair, something to calm her down. Which is, again, a good point. She did say something about feeling forced. Okay, I'm with you. All right, Ansari instructed her to turn around. He sat back and pointed to his penis and motioned for me to go down on him. And I did.
I don't understand. Like, you're giving such mixed signals at that point.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't think they get this, dude. And again, I think I just felt really pressured. Okay, it was literally the most unexpected thing I thought would happen at that moment because I told him I was uncomfortable. So yeah, it's a fucking creepy thing to do. You can tell him, "Look, I'm still not." You know, you don't do it like, you know what I mean. You can just say, "Look, I'm really feeling forced here." You know, maybe it's a celebrity
thing. At that point, you should have already left.
Yeah, no. Again, excusing the fact that she should have left a long time ago. Coming out of the bathroom for sure at the fucking latest, she should have just fucking left. But probably even before then, before he went down on her, probably.
Or she went down on him the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, if I'm going down on a chick, I'm honestly expecting that we're going to end up fucking. So honestly, I would have stopped before even any contact with genitals happened. You know what I mean?
Generally, if I'm not interested, I'll just say no.
Yeah.
And if the person then gets undressed, I'll just leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, that's bizarre.
Okay. All right. Soon he pulled her back up onto the couch. She would tell her friend via text later that night. He made out with me again and says, "Doesn't look like you hate me." Okay, so he's creepy and all that, obviously. Okay, halfway into the encounter, he led her from the couch to a different part of the apartment. He said he had to show her something. Then he brought her to a large mirror, bent her over, and asked her again, "Where do you want me to fuck you? Do you want me to fuck you right here?" He rammed his penis against her ass while he said it, pantomiming intercourse. Okay, they're naked at this point. They don't want to mention it, but they're naked.
So this whole thing, she's gone down on him twice. They've made out. She's mentioned that she's feeling forced, and he's like, "All right, let's take it slow," and then acts like a total creepy fuck. But this whole time she's just wandering around his fucking apartment, like half drunk and naked with the dude, and not really just like being like, you know what, I'm not into sex with you. Or like,
no, that's again the mixed signals thing is the biggest fucking issue I have with this whole thing. It's really fucking bizarre.
At a certain point, politeness is really not the answer.
Yeah. If you're that uncomfortable, dude, you're just gonna you don't have to even be super forceful, dude. You just have to be like, look, this is not happening. I'm not going to have sex with you. Like,
putting your clothes on would be a big indicator of that,
dude. Yeah, that's what I find.
You're looking for a nonverbal cue, as they keep mentioning.
Yeah,
not being
someone
naked.
Still naked, dude. Yeah. Let's see where we. Oh, I just remember looking in the mirror and seeing him behind me. He was very much caught up in the moment, and I obviously no, you weren't. It wasn't obviously. Very much wasn't, and I obviously very much wasn't. Yeah, naked, but you very much weren't. All right, Gray said, after he bent me over is when I stood up and said, no, I don't think I'm ready to do this. I really don't think I'm going to do this. And he said, how about we just chill, but this time with our clothes on? So again, before this, it really doesn't make clear that they're naked through this. Like, it's kind of inferred a little bit, but it really isn't explicitly stated.
Wait. So when she finally does just say no, he stops and he's like, well, let's put our clothes on, and this time we'll just relax on the couch with our clothes on.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. Okay, so they got dressed, sat side by side on the couch that they'd already chilled on, and he turned on an episode of Seinfeld. She'd never seen it before. She said that's when the reality of what was going on sank in. It really hit me that I was violated. I felt really emotional all at once when we sat down there. That whole experience was actually horrible. While the TV played in the background, he kissed her again, stuck his fingers down her throat again, and moved to undo her pants.
So let's be fair here. At that point, he's already been told no. He really needs to stop.
No, he's creepy, dude. He's really fucking creepy. All right, but all right, well, we can go over it a little more a bit. But she turned away. She remembers feeling in a different mindset at that point. I remember saying, you guys are all the same. You guys are all the fucking same. And Sorry asked her what she meant. When she turned to answer, she says he met her with gross, forceful kisses.
I'm not sure what that means.
After that last kiss, after that last kiss, Grace stood up from the couch, moved back to the kitchen island where she left her phone and said she would call herself a car. He hugged her and kissed her goodbye, another aggressive kiss. When she pulled away, and Sorry finally relented and insisted he call her the car. He said, it's coming, but just tell them your name is Essence, she said, a name he has joked about using as a pseudonym in a sitcom. Okay. Yeah. And she teared up in the hallway outside his place, pressing the down button on the elevator. The Uber was waiting when she left the building. He asked if she was Essence. She said yes, and then she rode back to her Brooklyn apartment. I cried the whole ride home. At that point, I felt violated. That last hour was so out of my hand.
That poor fucking Uber driver. That has to be so awkward.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Just from his perspective, he's got no idea what's going on. He just shows up to like the rich people's area, and this woman who's just bawling her eyes out in the back of his that'd be the worst fucking.
You can't really ask someone. Yeah, you can't really make any small talk like, hey, how'd your night go? When that shit's going on. Yeah, fuck. I think that's pretty much it. Well, I'll finish it. Babe asks, Babe, that's the people the website this is on. Babe asked Ansari's representatives if they wanted to respond to Grace's account, and after 31 hours, released a statement, which you can read in full here. We can do that. But and then he acknowledges that they engaged in sexual activity, but by all indications, it was completely consensual. Grace compares Ansari's sexual mannerisms to those of a horny, rough, entitled 18-year-old. Not inaccurate. I can't. That's actually pretty accurate. She said so to her friends via text after the date and said the same thing to me when we spoke. But Aziz Ansari isn't an 18-year-old. He's a 34-year-old actor and comedian of global renown who's probably done more thinking about the nuances of dating and sex in the digital age than practically anyone else. He wrote a book about it, Modern Romance, and it was a New York Times bestseller. And Sorry built his career on being cute and nice and parsing the signals women send to men and the male emotions that result and turning them into award-winning Madison Square Garden-filling comedy. Most people first saw Aziz when he was Tom Haverford, a Parks and Rec fan favorite. Okay, none of this is fucking. I'm trying to see if there's anything. His early 2010s routines paint him as the kind of guy who strikes out because he actually respects women. I'm trying to see if any of the rest of this is necessary.
It doesn't really. It sounds like.
Yeah, I think we got the point, dude. Yeah,
they're basically just trying to. Well, let's see. Oh, so this is just stuff she did after the date, which is also completely immaterial. Like I don't care what she did afterwards. Just texting her friend.
Yeah, I'm just kind of skimming through it here. So yeah, she texted her friends a bunch of shit about it, and then, but yeah, I guess the whole point of this is because again, I'm seeing it from the dude's point of view, and it's just unbelievably mixed signals, man.
Oh, she put his text and stuff up. That's really inappropriate.
Yeah. Oh, did they actually?
Holy shit. I'm not going to play the video, but it looks like so that's really not cool. No. She said it was basically it was bad. He apologized.
Right. Yeah, and again, I do not like him. Sorry at all. I don't think he's funny. I think
it comes off as just a bad sex experience more than anything else.
Yeah, yeah. Again, he got creepy for sure, dude.
I don't think that there's anything actionable. Like as far as legally speaking, I don't think there's anything. Because I mean, she's naked the whole time in his apartment. She's gone down on him a couple times. I don't understand where like the clear and concise message of how he should have known that she wasn't into it. I mean, he probably should have because she's clearly uncomfortable. Yeah. But you wonder if like he's just that fucking awkward.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of him being famous and entitled. The entitled 18-year-old thing I think was pretty accurate. He was acting like a fucking horny entitled 18-year-old. And it probably describes most dudes in Hollywood. But yeah, it seems like he's really creepy, banking on his fame to get laid. But yeah, a lot of it. Again, if you don't want to have sex with him,
date's on. Cool. Feel free to join in anytime.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just
I've been on here for like the last 3 minutes just listening to you guys. And the only thing I wanted to butt in with saying, and thank you for having me on. It's the first live stream I've been on in quite a while. I don't normally do these hardly anymore. But McStabby told me to just drop on over and see what was going on, and I said, "All right, sure."
Oh yeah, I am McStabby fans.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, I am. It's this
is what you sound like, McStabby.
Yep, that's what I
yeah, he told me to come here, so now I'm here.
Well, welcome, man.
Thank you. So let me put it from this perspective. Look at it from a dad's point of view, like I am. When no matter how drunk a person gets, when a person says no, if they have the faculty to say no, that means they still have the capability of saying, "Hey, look, yeah, that was fun, but let's stop now." That means no. Now, does that qualify? Now, I'm gonna be mean here. Does that qualify rape? Absolutely not. Do I think he raped her? Absolutely not. I think they were both drunk idiots that got in way too much over their heads, and he's an entitled little shithead from a Middle Eastern country who has basically come to our country and has multiple times said, "Oh, it's so difficult for me in this country." Bitch, please.
I definitely.
Fuck that curry fury little micro penis motherfucker. He's an idiot. I don't give a shit how much money he has. He's not remotely fucking funny. In fact, when he was on Parks and Rec, nobody was watching the show for him. We were watching the show for everybody else. We were really watching it for Ron Swanson of all things. But then there's, that's what it is.
Yeah, no, I definitely would not have persisted like he did. It was incredibly fucking creepy. But again, yeah, I don't see. Again, the problem I have with it is they're insisting that these nonverbal cues and all this are should have been blatantly obvious. But if you're also fucking naked the whole time that shit's happening, and again, he's gone down on you, you've gone down on him, even after you said, "Hey, let's chill."
Yeah, the signals, it doesn't matter because she's drunk, he's drunk. They've both, I feel sorry for her doing what she did, and he must have had a strap on if he's rubbing his wiener up against her hiney. He ain't got nothing down there, little fucking fruity ass, and. I have no respect for this guy in general because he's an obnoxious little shit from another country that comes over here, takes our money for whatever reason, thinking that he's talented, and then he slams our president and basically pisses on his audience who either did or didn't vote in the current election. So I don't really care. But the truth of the matter is, no rape was committed. They're both drunk as fuck, and he still went too far, and she still had the capability of saying no. He should have figured it fucking out. So nonverbal cues don't even matter, especially if neither one of them can tell head nor tails from each other, literally. I mean, she barely made it out the door. She made it home. He realizes he butterfingered. I'm not defending this guy. He's basically straight out saying, hey, look, we were both drunk and we both done fucked up. That's the truth, whether people like it or not. And I'm saying this from a dad's point of view because I have a daughter who thankfully is not into guys, and if anybody tried that shit with him, she'd probably put her hand through their sternum and pull their heart out like Kano from fucking Mortal Kombat. I've raised her well.
That's the issue I have with that is it just took a little assertiveness, even with him being persistent. She should have said, "Look, we're not fucking," and that's it. I think it should have stopped before he ever went down on her or she ever went down on him. So I think once you're fucking with the genitals like that, especially for a dude, kind of assume that you're going to get laid. So it's going to fuck with your head, and you're going to ignore any signals, any nonverbal signals.
To the average male, when you go downtown, it's pretty much okay. Now we're going to have sex anyway. But
it's on at that point for sure.
Yeah, it is. That's usually the point of no return for most guys anyway. It's not because we don't like doing it. It's just that's one of our massive nonverbal cues of okay, we're gonna have sex tonight. But again,
I'm preparing your pussy to be pounded.
They were both drunk as fuck, and they realized it. But she did say no. And come on, guys, let's be fair. He figured it out later than sooner.
Yeah, he definitely got creepy, dude. He definitely was way more insistent than I would have been, even drunk. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's still, at first you were just like, hey, let's slow down. It wasn't even really a no. You know what I mean? It was just like, hey, let's just chill.
I'm wondering, because this is all like way after the fact that this comes out. Was there a point at which some of her friends were like, hey, look, this could be worth some money?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's true. It was September 25th, after all. They made that abundantly clear.
Yeah, so it's January of the year after. So, I mean...
Think about what's been going on this past year.
Exactly.
That's,
Weinstein and the whole thing.
But it's not a complete... he raped me kind of thing. It's a, they both done fucked up, but he did not know when he does not know how, he does not understand the, the circle of the O. And he does that, and they do like to act like fucking teenagers. Well, out here in the real world, you pull that shit with our daughters, we're going to whoop your ass. His little brown Curie Fury little bitch ass comes to Iowa. He tries to touch a farmer's daughter. We're burying his corpse in the fucking cornfield. That's the end. I'm sorry.
Fertilize next season's crops.
That's right. Children of the corn out here and shit. There's a reason why people make fun of Iowa about that kind of shit. Because we kind of do that. We don't do it, but you get the general idea. We'd rather have the mythos of being fucking scary and hillbilly-ish and deliverance and all that type shit than actually having to do it. It's better to have the perception than the reality, and it does work in our favor sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that actually, there was a rumor about Justin Bieber peeing on a couple of girls or spitting on them. It was one or the other. I'm not sure if it's
he's
true
probably watching R. Kelly videos again.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I definitely saw him spitting on fans. That happened, dude.
But the thing that makes me wonder about that is like how true is that? Because how many of those fans are like underage, and like, wouldn't their dad go beat the fuck out of Bieber? Security be damned. I mean, like,
yeah. They definitely fucking tried.
No, because they would have their daughters like, oh, don't hit him, Daddy. I love him. It's like, ugh.
Oh yeah, that's
you're not gonna win.
Yeah, I think the girls actually were like fucking glad he spit on them. Like they were freaking out, like it was the greatest thing ever. You know?
Yeah. And it's not one of those things that even and I doubt he did it out of, and I'm gonna say this, I highly doubt he's ever spit on his fans out of spite. It's probably just
weird, creepy,
no, not even that. If you're really at a concert and you're sweating bullets and you're doing your routine, you're gonna slobber like a mad dog anyway because you're just fucking out there doing your thing. And to them, it's just like going to a concert and the girls flashing you and throwing their bras at you and shit. That's just the way it is. And the dads are not going to get so pissed off about that. They're like, all right, well, you had your fun. And, 5 years later, I can't believe I went to that Bieber concert. And the dad's like, yeah, you're the one who saved up your money and bought the tickets, dumbass.
So you hope at least they've grown out of it 5 years after they started.
Yeah. So you got to look at it from that perspective. I mean, he's not, and I don't know. We're not saying whether he did or not. It's not like he's pulling an R. Kelly where the underage girls like they say in the Boondocks. Well, if I didn't want to get peed on, I moved out of the way.
With R. Kelly though, that girl didn't look 14. Like in his defense.
Well, when don't girls look 14 these days?
No, I know. I'm just saying. Like in his defense, I could see him not realizing. Like, oh yeah, this is not an adult.
And even if it was somebody underage, he paid him. It was proven he paid her anyway. She took the money.
She was a prostitute. Okay.
Yeah. No. She was underage. She wasn't a hooker. She was a fan. But he paid her off. Yeah. And again, if she didn't want to be peed on, it was hush money. If she didn't want to be peed on, she would have moved out of the way. Come on, it's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah, you got to wonder if she was like, "This is kind of cool."
Yeah. No, she probably was literally like, wanted money at some point and was like, hey, I can cash in on this. This could look really bad for him since I'm underage and all.
It's one of those things that, like, if there's a famous movie actress or model or whatever that she could have just worked out at the gym, and if she's willing to, you're like, God, I wish she'd rub her butt at my face. Yeah. And she does it, you're not going to complain kind of thing. And she might pay you off because, like, well, don't let the press know. I'm like, yeah, I dreamed about you sitting on my face. You did it. Well, I'm going to tell why. So, you got to think of it in that perspective. It's not in defense of anybody. It's just the fact that this stupid shit happens. Sorry to say.
I think it's just in general, like, celebrities are just so used to being able to get whatever they want with their fame and their money.
Well, when was the last time you ever actually heard of a celebrity getting their ass handed to them by the average person, be it male or female?
They go around with, fucking like 6 foot tall or like 6'6", 500-pound fucking security all the time at this point. Like, it's not happening.
Well, it's because they don't have the capability of doing so. I remember back in the day in the 90s and stuff, Steven Seagal would go off on somebody and whoop their ass, and then he'd go to court and he'd get an ass kicking. Yeah. But he didn't, but there were celebrities that would get into fight. They weren't willing, intentionally looking to fight. Stupid shit happens. They'd lose control.
People want to test them.
Yeah, they want to push the buttons, and so they push the buttons, and then the celebrities would react. And it was just like, okay, well, you guys, basically, yeah, you're this person here, this person here, whatever. And it's only because of their political or celebrity status that it ever even made news, or why it was ever settled out of court.
Right. Charles Barkley was constantly getting into bar fights back in the day too.
Because and Charles Barkley's a very nice guy. But the dude is
maybe not when he drinks, apparently.
Well, no, but
it's the people trying to act tough.
Yeah, exactly. It's like somebody says, "Oh, martial arts, huh?" And then we're like, "Oh, why is it every time somebody knows martial arts. Somebody wants to get into a fight and test them when they apparently don't understand that martial arts is an art form, not a fighting form in the first place. It's a form of self-defense, not to. It's an it's a defensive structure, not an offensive structure. Like I know that like every time somebody wants to, like somebody's a movie star, they gotta have like 6 bodyguards because they have the money. It's like, no, they can't fight for themselves, and if they did, they know what would happen. That's why.
Yeah, it's actually cheaper to pay the bodyguards than to kick
than it is the person that's suing you.
Food. Yeah, exactly.
So.
Well, and as happened multiple times in the rap world, there's a lot of bodyguards that have gone to jail as opposed to the rapper. So sometimes the bodyguard is there to go to jail for you.
Right.
In the average rap fan, the average music fan is not going to go up and start shit with the rapper because they're enamored with him. It's the other ones that have the beefs that they're throwing bullets around and the bullshit around, and they're the ones. That's why. And then of course they have the 6 or 7 bodyguards that are willing to go to jail for him, so that they can act out their little fantasies of, oh, I got to go test my manhood. So that's the thing that people don't really think about all this type of shit. They say, oh, this person does this or this person. They see things either one way or the other, and they don't really try to see in the middle. They think a person's either very angelical or very devilish, and that's not always the case.
Oh yeah. I don't want to meet any of the celebrities I like.
I don't either. I don't really want to ever meet any celebrities I like. Because knowing what they post on Twitter or Facebook, it's kind of like, motherfucker, you're a buzzkill. I like these movies that you're in, and now I can't look at them the same way. Thanks, douchebag.
Yeah, well, even Kevin Smith,
really bad.
Kevin Smith even said it when he met Bruce Willis. He was like, "Yeah, they say never meet your idols," because apparently Bruce Willis is just a total fucking jackass, dude, and it kind of ruined it for Kevin Smith.
I'm wondering if that was on the set of Live Free or Die Hard or whatever, because when he was playing.
It was both.
Oh,
it was on the set of Live Free or Die Hard. He got to meet Bruce Willis, and he actually wrote most of the dialogue for that. And then he worked with him again, obviously, in what was that silly detective movie with Tracy Morgan?
Fuck, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He was going to call it a couple of dicks, but Cop Out, yeah.
Yeah. See, I've actually met a few they're not lower level celebrities now, but I met Gabriel Iglesias over at the Adler Theater back in 2013, and that was before he really hit mega stardom, and he is a very nice guy, and he has people that he's touring with doing the comedy show that are like, yeah, we got to get going, and he will just turn right around and say, hey, my fans are here, knock it off. He would literally tell the other people he's doing the comedy tour with, hey, chill. And he stayed there until like 3 a.m. And by the time my wife and I got back at 4:30 in the morning, because we had to go over this part of Iowa and this part of Iowa, and we ended up going over to my parents' house, down south and everything, because we had to go do shit with them the next day. Because we live in the Quad Cities, and so basically for us it was a half-hour drive. But because we had to go visit my parents the next day anyway, it was like, well, might as well go crash at mom and dad's an hour and a half later. And we're just like, my parents are like, what the hell are you doing? It's like 4:30 in the morning. It's like, oh, we just got out of the Adler Theater, and they're like, that show started at 9 o'clock, and I go, I know. But
I would imagine
that's one of the things you meet people earlier in their career, and they're very humble, and he's still a humble guy and very nice, and he loves what he does. But that's one of the very rare few instances where the illusion is not shattered.
No, I would imagine he's probably the same now, especially if you bring him cake. Apparently, a lot of people bring him cake to his shows. Too.
Yeah, my little brother actually got to go see him not that long ago, like a year or so ago, and he said the same thing. Yeah, he stayed there until everybody got their signature or their picture or anything, all that stuff. He was there for forever.
No, he seems like a really good dude. Yeah, my son fucking loves fucking Gabriel Iglesias, dude. Yeah, I do too, man. He's fucking funny, dude.
Sounds like that.
The great thing about that when he was at the Adler Theater in 2013 is he had his regular routine, but he was doing something new on us, which is some of the stuff that ended up in Magic Mike and his later shows about, with he was referring to Matthew McConaughey, and because it was new material, we didn't get his new stuff is because it's new and you don't know how it's going to work out. But he did that, and then he went into his old stuff, and when he started running through his old gags, everybody knew his stuff so well. He just basically goes, I don't even know why I'm here. I ought to let you guys just come down on stage and do it for me, and just kind of acts all deflated and shit, and drops his mic and fake cries and shit, and we're all just rolling and laughing, and it was one of the, that was the thing. And he has, but you don't meet celebrities like that every day. And then there are people that do. But the truth of the matter is, if you're a person that lives out in California and you're working around these people, you're going to see more sides to them than you want. And most people's like, oh, how can you put up with this? Well, the person's working. Whether or not you want to call acting working or not, that's another debate. But the point is, they're human too. But the thing is, let's be fair, if Kevin Smith is telling you that Bruce Willis was being a dick, and it's kind of like, well, okay. I'm probably going to take the word of Kevin Smith, not because I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, because I'm not, but it's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to take the word of Kevin Smith over Bruce Willis. Well, it wasn't being a dick. I say you probably were.
Yeah, he's probably unaware of what a dick he is, dude.
Exactly, and so let's be fair on that. But that's not the same thing as little Mr. Curie Fury micro penis trying to get his pants into somebody with the strap on because he ain't a real man and can't get his job done. He's not the same level as Bruce Willis or Kevin Smith or Gabriel Iglesias. He is a obnoxious little nobody.
Yeah, I'm amazed at his popularity, man. Like, he uses the same kind of like high energy trickery that like fucking Dane Cook uses, or fucking like if you actually look at what they're saying, you're like, dude, that's not really that funny. He's just all fucking high energy and loud and shit. It's really not funny, dude. I don't fucking get it.
And it's on the and it's kind of on this. It's kind of on the same level, but the opposite spectrum of what. She had the Amy Schumer, where she talks about one subject all the time, and it's this particular. And it's this particular material. And it's kind of like it's on the same level, but it's on the opposite spectrum. It's kind of like, okay, it gets boring after a while. Change it up.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I thought Amy Schumer back in the day was fucking hilarious, dude. I really did.
Because that's when the joke was still new.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, as even sorry, I just never thought it was funny.
It's still the same joke she was telling back then.
Right. Like, yeah, okay, you're a slut and your fucking pussy stinks. We get it. We've heard it. 3 fucking albums now. Yeah, exactly. No, I get it, dude. But again, originally it was pretty fucking funny. As Aziz Ansari, I've never seen any of the shit that was genuinely funny. It's just him being fucking loud and fucking weird, dude.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things that he uses his nationality as his defense, his weapon. He's defense and weapon of choice at the same time. Because if you've ever seen some of the shit he said, when he knows that he can't succeed as a comedian, he starts using the political edge of this happened, so now because I'm from Muslim heritage, blah blah blah, and it's like, motherfucker, I don't give a shit. Yeah. You're not, I don't care. It's like, oh, my mom. And it's like, yeah, your mom, she wasn't all that great. What's your point?
Yeah.
This is why I'm out in the comments, spouting off, where the fuck is Brody Bruce when you need him from fucking Mallrats?
Right.
Yeah, really.
Speaking of Kevin Smith, where's the Randall Graves spouting out some shit? Because these people. So this is the thing that Kevin Smith once wrote for his Clerks the Animated Series, which I actually have as my banner on Twitter, and says, "America, let us rise up against our celebrities and make fun of them because they deserve it."
Yeah.
If you pissed on us long enough, we have to start slamming you and degrading you for you to understand that, yeah, you're no better than us, asshole.
Oh well, yeah. And it's interesting how human they are when you find out on Twitter, because I know I've trolled the hell out of like Christopher Titus and what's that Australian dude, Jeff something or other.
Oh fuck, Jim Jeffries.
Jim Jeffries, yeah, both of them. And
he gets bent out of shape fast. Jim Jeffries gets bent out of shape fucking fast.
And they'll respond, and you're like, man, how many responses is this guy going on? Because he's talking about like gun control or something, or some other political thing. There's a lot of people who are like, yeah, you're fucking dumb. I'm sure.
He really is a dumbass, dude. Yeah, but dude, Twitter really, it still freaks me out. Like I remember Norm Macdonald getting into it with somebody, dude, and I'm like, this is fucking amazing. I'm like, you got one of the fucking greatest comedic minds of all time and just two random nobodies going at it. Like, isn't Twitter fucking great / awful?
It's that's one of the things I've seen Norm Macdonald do that too, and I also follow James Woods, so it's kind of like, James shit,
Woods, man,
you can tell who the real sharp ones are out there, and Norm Macdonald and James Woods are at least two of them.
Yeah.
And you can see who the real dullards are as well.
He's really smart, but he is just fucking crazy. Like,
he's
like a rabid dog, man.
That I don't have to.
It's like, fine, turn him loose. Sometimes he's more Mike Torino from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, or fucking Hades from Hercules than he is James Woods. And you've got to like, what mood is he in today,
dude? Is he not the perfect guy to play Trump in a movie, dude?
Oh yeah, really. Well, it's impressive how much like you notice how politically correct everyone else is, all the other celebrities on Twitter. When you look at people like James Woods, and you're like, yeah, no, that is
William Shatner.
Whatever the fuck
I love Bill Shatner. He's fucking hilarious. Because in fact, I saw a tweet from somebody today. Says. He goes, the person, I don't remember the person's name. Don't you? The guy says to Will Shatner, Captain fucking Kirk of all things, and he retweeted it, and he says, well, don't you ever do anything like live podcast or live streamings? And all William Shatner says was, no, period, why, question mark. No, why? As in, why would I? And I'm like, how many people get roasted by fucking Captain Kirk, TJ Hooker, Denny Crane, William fucking Shatner on a daily basis, and they don't know it? The guy's older. The guy's about as old as my dad, if not older. Do you think he gives a shit? He's having so much fucking fun with this. What is ridiculous.
What is he going to say new at this point? Like, I mean, as long as he's been in the public eye, as many interviews as he's done, what new does he have to say that he hasn't already said?
I mean, I can understand if he went on a podcast or something, it would literally just be him telling the same stories he's probably told 100 fucking times at conventions.
Well, it's not that he wouldn't have anything new. It's not that he wouldn't have anything new, guys. It's the fact that everybody would want to hear the rehash stories.
Yeah, I'm saying even if he would just have to tell the same shit over and over.
It would be bad for him, and he'd be like, "Well, how am I going to get anything new out there if all you want to hear is about, I did this on the set of Star Trek?" Yeah, we could read that in the fucking book.
Yeah, it's been said. Yeah, it must get fucking tiresome, dude. Yeah.
So
I can understand him not doing any of that shit, dude.
So Stabby, let me ask you something. What do you think of my avatar? I used the somebody on Twitter did this, and apparently Family Guy was going up to their 300th episode. I stopped watching around episode 120, to be honest. So I decided to Family Guy myself, and I have like 10 pictures of myself, and I have one picture, and I made 10 different versions with different T-shirts. And so somebody actually asked me today, is that what you look like? I said, yeah, if I was on Family Guy. And they're like, oh, I didn't know you had brown hair. Wow. So I said, oh, you know what I'm going to fucking do? I'm going to change my Twitter picture, make it a little more, lighthearted. And I said, I might as well do this for my YouTube and shit too, with like different pictures. Because people, the people they use icons, all the avatars and icons all the time. It's like, well, it's like, well, we don't know what you look like. Motherfucker, I'm right there. I just look like I'm from fucking Family Guy. I'm just a thinner version of Chris. So what do you think of that?
I don't even know.
That's actually a clever idea.
I'm trying to think. I can't even remember what my Twitter profile has on it, dude. Holy shit!
I think your Twitter profile.
That's really bad when you don't know what you put on your own Twitter.
Well, I don't look at my profile very often. That's for sure. Let me see.
Oh no, you got some sort of picture of like a forest and a field.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Window of a car.
My banner thing is like a sunset. This is from up on the rim. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. It's a pictures of deer if you zoom in on it. Okay. That's some deer they saw up on the Mogollon Rim there. Okay. Dude, that's
okay.
Changed that a long fucking time, dude.
So I appreciate having me on the show, man. I love talking about stuff that is not so goddamn heavy in context. Any other time I get on other people's show, they love to do the heavy shit, and that they just wears fucking thin. But speaking of celebrities, and I'm not going to talk about Hollywood stuff here. I'm going to talk about YouTube, Twitter fame. There are people on YouTube. There are people that are on YouTube that do YouTube videos. They've been doing them for ages, and they're on Twitter, and they just act like anything they and I'm not saying they're because if they ask me to say it, I'll say it to their face anyway. I will literally turn my camera on and look at the camera and tell them the same thing. Their tweet, when they tweet and you reply to them, they act like, I'm starting to notice this pattern too, that they act like your tweets don't matter or that their shit don't stink. And it's kind of like, this is another reason I don't give the Patreons and I don't do any of that kind of shit because with the exception of one or two people I've actually talked to on their live streams who are very nice. There's actually been two people, and I'm big fans of them. I won't say who they are because out of respect, because they're good guys. I've seen a lot of, they're good guys. They're great guys.
Well, you can say it if they're great guys. It's if you're talking shit.
No, because I am going to talk shit about people, but I just don't want their names confused with the shit I'm about to spew.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Fair enough, dude.
So, and there's people on there that I've been following since I've been on Twitter for a little over a year and a half now. And at first they would talk to me, and now they don't. It's kind of like, what the fuck did I do to you? And it's just their egos are getting big. And one of the things that I'm very sad to hear about is when I was going back to college about 5-6 years back, I started. I didn't have a lot of time. My wife and I were both working. My daughter was in school and all this shit, so I didn't get to do anything. I hardly ever saw anybody in the house, and so I started watching Spoonie videos. And this is how I really got into everything.
He went real sideways, man.
He's gone fucking Joker, Arkham Asylum, Looney Tunes, fucking Bugs Bunny in a fucking straitjacket. He's done, long gone. And I guess today, as of today, he's off Twitter. He's been banned or he's been revoked or removed or something. And he hasn't made a video in about 2 years anyway. And Mr. Medicare did that guy with the glasses series, which you haven't seen it. Watch that shit's great.
Oh yeah, no, I have seen that. Yeah, oh yeah.
Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those type of people that have that attitude. And I was watching the Spoonie one. The Spoonie, I was watching them all again today because I'm just laughing my ass off about, And now Doug Walker, he's really still doing his stuff, so good for him. I like his stuff, but. Then the other people like Spoonie and he's gone off the deep end. He bans everybody left and right. And I used to talk to Linkara and he doesn't say shit now. And so other people that I would watch as I was watching YouTube videos while I was going to college to get my networking certification for my job because I didn't see my wife and my kid. And then I get done with college again, and then I'm getting back with the family and they're watching us. We're all having a fucking ball. All this kind of fucking faux fame goes to their head. Mm-hmm. And when I saw what you were talking about, somebody that was watching your show for some reason, that it's kind of like, why are they spying on you? Yeah. So that's where I was getting to. And it's kind of like, I would watch these people's videos, and then the faux fame went to their head, and they've all fucking derailed for the most part, with the exception of the two guys that are really awesome that I'm not going to name because I love them too much out of respect. And I got to say, Doug Walker's still doing his thing on Nostalgia Critics, so good for him. More power to him. Big ups for him. But a lot of other people from that guy with the glasses, the old stuff, they're just gone fucking AWOL. And unfortunately, Spoonie seems to be the biggest casualty. Noah Antweiler seems to be the biggest casualty for whatever reason. And he had really as Mr. Medicare pointed out, he really had some of the best shit. To me, at least. Oh, yeah.
So, do you remember Foamy the Squirrel?
No, I don't.
I don't know if either of you ever saw that, but that's a guy from way, way back that actually stayed really cool. But he didn't. He never exploded. He was really big on the net way before YouTube, like years before YouTube was even a thing.
Yeah.
But like he's on YouTube now, and he's actually he stayed really nice, which was kind of cool.
That's good.
Yeah, it seems like, and I think it's more of we've actually talked about this quite a bit on the show here. I think it's having too many sycophantic fans telling you how great and perfect you are.
Yeah, like an echo
that fucking and you end up getting to the point where you start thinking of criticism as, oh, they're just haters, instead of somebody might actually have a valid criticism of you, and you just listen to the people that tell you how great and wonderful and perfect you are.
Yeah. I've actually had that with a few people, and their fans tried to turn rabbit on me, and I said, do something, and they backed off because I basically said, do something. I've been watching James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, for years. But here's the thing about James Rolfe. I'm not talking smack about him. I'm making a very simple statement of fact. People grow up. The Angry Video Game Nerd character, for as much as I love for him to do that, he's an adult now. He's an adult now. He has his own family. And he initially started out as wanting to be a filmmaker. So if he's branching out into other stuff besides AVGN, that's great. Good for him. But if he's going to do an AGVN video, it's about time, if he gets back to it, he starts doing the angry reviews again and gets in character. But the thing is, he has even come out and said, hey, look, I'm doing this over here, and I'm doing this over here, and I'm doing this over here. And he's explaining what he's doing with Cinemassacre and Mike Matei and all that stuff. And I said, good. You're letting your fans know. And I've seen people turn their backs on him for no reason. I'm like, the dude's an adult. He has his own family. There's going to come a time down the road where I'm sure he doesn't want his kids to see his kids to see, oh, my God, Daddy's acting like a Looney Tune and swearing.
Well,
so it's like that. So I defended him on that, and one of his videos I said, hey, I know you're doing this over here and this over here, but this episode's kind of weak. I think you should put more of this into it. And then that's where there's like, oh, you're an effing hater, F you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, do something. Do something. And I've had people say, oh, I'm going to dox you. And I go, what are you going to dox me for? Everybody knows this is my name, and I live in the Quad Cities of Iowa, dipshit. Come get me. Oh, you got nothing.
Anyway. Yeah, no, I don't get that. The blindly, that's another thing is, just too many of those fucking fans will just blindly defend and fucking, they're rabid. They're fucking so fucking rabid about it, dude.
Yeah, I've criticized some people in the skeptic community, the so-called skeptic trademark community. But I was, it's usually the fans that just come after you and start slamming you, and you're like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't understand why.
Yeah, no, they get fucking angry.
Slinging all these insults at you, it's gonna like bother me. Like at one point, somebody fucking took screenshots from some of the videos on my actual channel, Skittles McStabby Pants, which is just stuff I do did because I was fucking bored in the middle of the night when I work graveyard. And I'm just like, yeah, that's a picture of me. Yeah, that you found pictures of me from the videos.
No, like, I don't understand. Graveyard shift. You gotta,
Oh yeah,
but just the fact that they thought that was an insult, that is pretty funny, dude. They're like, this guy,
Yeah. Well, that was because I was criticizing Tonka stuff. If you're a fan of Toker, you've probably heard them refer to the Kumite.
Yeah, I had a loudmouth told me, yeah, you need to get your ass on the Kumite and deal with this. And I said, fuck off. And they're just like, they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, when I tell you to fuck off, it means leave me alone. I have nothing to say about anything, and I have no interest in going to the Kumite, you dipshit. And they're like,
Tonka is the one that runs it.
Well, he wasn't in on this when this.
No, I know. Yeah.
So to make that clear, my statement that I just said had nothing to do with Tonka Saw. At all. Never met the man.
Yeah, you're familiar with it,
but somebody wanted me to get on that forum that he, during a live stream. I'm like, what are you, a fucking retard? You got a beef with me. You take it up with me. You don't put me on a live stream with some dude I've never met. And that to me that shows disrespect to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, plus that forum,
old, and I have goddamn morals and ethics about shit. So sue me.
Yeah. Well, the Kumite is not a place for civil discussion in general. It's usually a lot of yelling and calling people hoes, and
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, it devolves into a just a name calling kind of spectacle, pretty much. So yeah, it's not the best place to discuss things.
Well, the thing that I call out every so often, because I see stuff that Tonkasaw tweets, and I have to make fun of it, is he tries to take the moral high ground, but then whenever he's asked to defend it, he reverts to, well, I just do a show that's entertainment. There's nothing. It's not that serious. You're taking it too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But when
you can't do both. You can't be like, I have the moral high ground. No, I'm just an entertainer. I don't have to defend myself. I don't have to prove any of what I say is
I'm not going to argue that point. But when you actually do a show, if you're the creator of a show, you have to be responsible for its content, no matter what show it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. Of course. That's beyond the point. I'm just saying, like, not only that's a given, but like, I just that dichotomy drives me up the fucking wall. Like, you can't claim the moral high ground and then refuse to defend it.
And then say or his claim about it being
say anything, I inevitably get swamped with people. And then the thing that was really funny most recently was he was telling me, like, hey, don't you or don't you realize, like, people rat you out when you talk about you on your show? Like, I have people that rat you out to me or something. I was just like so.
Is that what that was about?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, so apparently people are watching this,
gets like 10 views,
and reporting back to him,
and fucking report back to him if I ever talk shit. I'm like, that's just fucking weird, man.
See, that's the thing that goes back to YouTube, Twitter type fame. It's the lower level of thinking that you're a mega star it's the lower level tier of thinking you're a mega rock star when you're actually not. And this is one of the lowest level, and it's not because we're, everybody's low level scum type. It's just, you don't have the money or the power to back up your bullshit like they do in Hollywood, to say the least.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Although,
like they do with the record company, to say the least. So if, a certain musician says something stupid and blunders it, that's what PR can spin it for. You can't do that on the YouTube, Twitter level of stuff like right here, which is why it's never good to have an ego about shit if you can't control it. This goes for everybody, myself included. I literally have 2 videos on my channel, and it's like, I don't know how to fucking make videos. So this is why I don't have a Patreon or anything, because it was like, oh, when are you going to have another video? I was like, I don't know, because I don't know how to make videos. So I keep myself grounded. Plus, I also have my own morals and ethics, which that pisses a lot of people off. So I never have the high ground. I know I have the lowest ground of them all, because kind of like, well, I'm going to fall on my ass here sooner or later. Might as well just build a bench and sit on it.
Yeah, but it is kind of funny that how sycophantic the fans do get. The fact that somebody's going to sit through this fucking incredibly obscure show that hardly anybody watches and fucking sit through it and then report back to him. Like, he's got fans that are willing to do that. That is fucking amazing to me, dude.
I just hope I never have fans that do that type of shit, because I would then have to turn around and say, hey man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. That would be the proper reaction, in my opinion. But
it's not the I don't give a shit attitude. It's kind of like if you go to a rock concert and you're there to enjoy the concert, and you're watching the band on stage, no matter who they are, and some idiot throws a beer can at them. It's kind of like, dude, what the hell? We're here to listen to the band and have a good time. We're not here for you to start fucking fights. And then for the musician to say, hey, if you want to fucking throw shit at me, meet me at the back of the stage when the concert's over, you dumb fuck. It's like, oh God, you just ruined the buzz. It's like, what the fuck? You just ruined my concert experience, you asshat. I don't know. That's when people watch, as you guys would put it, an obscure little show and report back to people. And it's kind of like, you guys are the people that do that shit. You're the idiots that go to a Motorhead concert, throw shit at Lemmy of all people, and expect him not to kick your ass when you know that's not going to happen. To say nothing else. God,
that makes
our Lemmy.
Like, you're still a fucking fan, right? I mean, I assume these people are fans, and they're still. I assume they didn't buy a ticket just to throw a beer or a fucking battery at the fucking dude on stage. Like, they have to be fans on some level.
See, that's the point. There are people that go to these things just to start problems. It's kind of like,
no.
Why did you come?
Yeah, I guess that is kind of the same mentality, isn't it? Yeah,
but to be fair, to be even balanced, there are people, and I've seen this at concerts too, and I saw this in an old Dead Kennedys concert to where they were live and everybody was getting a little rowdy, and you know, Jello Biafra's in the middle of singing the song. He's like, "Hey man, don't be a dick," and they'll stop because there's having fun and getting rowdy, and then there's getting rowdy and a little bit nutty to where it's going to ruin the buzz. And then when, you know, somebody like Jello says, "Hey man, don't be a dick," you quit and you go back to just having fun. Everybody's happy. So let's be fair, there's that too. But more often than not, it's kind of like, what the fuck did you buy a ticket if all you're going to do is throw a beer at Lemmy and not expect to get your ass kicked?
Yeah, that is fucking amazing, dude. You got to have a lot of hatred, man, in your fucking heart to be doing that. To have that much dedication.
I don't know. I never went to a Motorhead concert because I never got to see them. But the few concerts that I have been to, it's kind of like, really, and I'll say this out loud. I went to a Megadeth concert and I saw people throwing shit at Dave Mustaine and David Ellison, and I'm like,
Jesus,
you do know that you're throwing shit at the guy who is known for being the bad boy of the Big Four, even in his older age, and he will say, if he says turn on him, everybody's gonna turn on you, and you want to throw beer bottles and shit at Dave Mustaine of all people? No, you're on your own, asshole. I'm gonna stand over here and get my record signed. Thanks, I'm out. You know, I'm good. I have seen that.
Yeah, and think of Megadeth fans in general. Like, dude, if they find out, you know, see you doing it, dude, they're gonna fucking beat the shit out of you without him even telling you, dude. That's fucking nuts.
But it's that poisoned mindset that it's you know. And I'll be honest, I was a Rabid Spoonie fan at once, and then I realized, okay, I'm getting a little too much into this at my age of 38. Back then, you know, I was like 38 years old at the time. It's like, okay, I need to calm my ass down, and that's when, you know. And I didn't criticize Spoonie because he hadn't gone off the deep end yet. But it's kind of like, I don't have a need to criticize him because he's going to make his videos how he's going to make it. And I'm going to like him. I'm going to like him. If I don't like him, I'm not going to like him, and I don't have to watch him if I don't want to. And that's the biggest thing people seem to forget is nobody's forcing you to watch stuff.
Yeah, that's another thing is for the fans. I think if they, you know, just think about that every once in a while, like, hey, maybe I'm taking this shit way too seriously. Maybe I should fucking relax. Maybe this is not that big of a deal, you know. But it seems like that kind of gets lost, man. They kind of forget that like a fucking 99.999% of the population doesn't give a fuck and has no fucking clue who you are.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, that's almost a little bit like people being completely incapable of having like a civil discussion about politics that don't agree.
Yeah.
At this point, you know, like,
you can't. And it's instead of viewing people as just people you disagree with, they view people you disagree with as the enemy, you know, instead of, again, just somebody that doesn't agree, you know, has a different viewpoint. No, they're the fucking enemy. They're evil.
I take it we're all old enough to have lived through the tail end of the Cold War, yes?
Let's see, 37. I want to say, in the 80s they tore down the wall, right?
Yeah, 89.
Yeah, 89. Yeah, so I was 9 years old, so I didn't quite understand it as well as probably some other people did.
Yeah.
Well, I
remember being young and having people betting that the world was going to end from nuclear war. So
I was 14 at the time, and the problem is, not that I would wish this upon anybody because we don't need another one. We haven't had a war. And I think if we did, that would start really showing people's true colors. And if we reinstated the draft, that would be another thing. But the people that are on these YouTube live streams and are on Twitter talking all this political smack is, you guys are throwing this shit around so callously. You're not even old, and you weren't even either born or old enough to remember what the fuck the Cold War was when we literally looked at a person from Russia and said, "You're the enemy." And it was like, why? Just because reasons. And I'm like, oh shit. You know, it's that poison mindset that we've gotten back into on a certain level when it comes to certain things. And it's like, if you fuckers weren't there in the first place, shut the hell up.
Well, and I think the media is starting to finally, I'm wondering if they're starting to realize, like, there's heating up the Cold War that really, I mean, it sort of ended, but there's still a lot of enmity between Russia and the U.S.
Right.
There's not as much as people think, but that you've got to remember that the old dogs, the old watchdogs, they're all dying off, and they're trying to take what they can grab while they can get it. And and for as much as a douchebag as Dan Rather and Walter Cronkite could be, because there's rumors they were on a certain level, they were still very politically biased. They would tell you straight out, no, this is how it is, because they knew how to do their jobs, and everybody's losing sight of that because everybody wants a slice of that proverbial fat cash, which they can't have. And there are some people, and that's the thing, there are people in my town who are Ukrainian, not Russian. And everybody's like, oh, in Soviet Russia, blah, blah, blah. I was like, they're Ukrainian, dipshit. Yeah, well, they sound like Russians. So
that's like the people that can't tell the difference between like Muslim and Sikh.
Right. That's my point. And they would automatically go into this default set of, if your voice sounds like this, you must be from Russia. No, dipshit, they're from the Ukraine. And they're older than me, and they would tell you fucking horror stories. And I'm not talking like Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, that type of shit. They would tell you, oh, you think you've got it bad here? Try waiting in a bread line when you had to go for rations. Well, what's that like? And they would literally say, okay. And I had this happen to me one time. I'm at the gym and I'm talking to this nice lady. She's from the Ukraine. And she says, and she's about 15 years older than me. She said, well, when I was a younger woman, we had to do this. And I said, well, explain to me what it meant to be in line for rations. She took out all my gym gear, my pre-workout drink, my post-workout drink, my water bottle, everything. And she would put it in a line and says, you have these, she goes, you have these 5 items right here. And there are 6 people. One of you is not getting something. And I'm like, oh shit. And it's like, instead of me having all 5 of those items, I might not even get one. She goes, correct. And now imagine if you had to do that, if you were to live off that for a week, instead of going to your grocery store and paying for something over the counter. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. And she goes, oh, yes. And she's like, so when people think they have something to complain about, they don't know nothing. They do not know of suffering. They need to shut the hell up. And I'm like, yes, ma'am.
That's
the stuff they don't know.
I worked with a woman who was from Cambodia. And she would talk about stuff that, like, her family. Well, she wasn't in the Khmer Rouge, obviously, but she would talk about stories of like stuff that happened when their family was there. And it was just like, holy shit. Like that was just as brutal, and it's sort of like the same thing as happened over in the Eastern Bloc with like communism, basically like killing everybody essentially.
And that's the thing these fucking kids don't get, and I'm gonna say to them out there, all you fucking kids, you don't know shit. And I grew up. I was born in the mid '70s. I grew up through the '80s. I never learned. My parents, thank Christ, were the silent generation. They weren't baby boomers. They're like, you have no reason to hate anybody from Russia. You have no reason to hate anybody that doesn't look like you, because you damn well know better. You weren't raised that way. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when somebody says to me, who's from the Ukraine, oh yeah, we have to stand in line for rations, I am severely humbled. And it may have been because I was in my 30s when I heard this, my mid 30s when I heard this. And it was probably better that I did. It's kind of like, oh shit, and I took a look back and I said, oh my God, look at all this shit that I've been taking for out of advantage. And I realized, okay, I need to calm. It's like CJ said in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, hey man, I really need to calm down. Yeah, that's what it was. I really needed to take a step back, realize how good I have it on a certain level, and stop being a whiny little bitch like all these people on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Oh yeah, I mean, you hear about what is it? There's an interesting YouTube series. I don't remember exactly the name, but it's a really old woman, like really, really old woman, and it's from a while ago. I think that's somebody must have got these from TV or something. But she's cooking Depression era recipes. So she's going through and like explaining to people like, well, you didn't have any of this, or this. You just put shit together in a pan.
Yeah.
And you hope you had enough food,
And that's another thing right there, is that these kids do not have anybody in their lives that said, they love to say, oh, when you were a kid, I'm sure you had to walk through 5 inches of snow. I said, Well, actually, no. When I was a kid back in the 80s, we still rode the bus, but it was fucking cold half the time. But my grandmother, my mom's mom, and my dad's mom, my grandparents lived through the Depression, and they said, we never wasted anything. And I said, well, so what are you talking about? I said, you ever seen the Waltons? I'm like, yeah, that's what it was like. I'm like, oh, okay. And, the Waltons kind of glamorized stuff because it was a TV show, but it was still that. It was everybody sat at the table, this person here, and you did this, and you acted not in a communist sense, but you acted as a family community to achieve a goal of to survive and live, and you didn't fucking whine about it.
Well, when
your grandma says you're going to eat every little bit on your plate, it's not because she's telling you to. It's because, okay, asshole, you're not realizing that you didn't go through what she did, and she would have been happy to have this big old fucking pile of mashed taters and KFC chicken on her plate back when she was your age.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The concept of throwing away food is probably really foreign to anybody that had to go through that. But it was interesting watching this lady talk about cooking during the Depression. And she was like, and one of the things we would do is if because they were well off, like her family, so they could have things like, occasionally they'd get like hot dogs and beans and stuff, as opposed to just like some flour and water, like a lot of people were getting in that era. And then she's like, and we would feed like the neighborhood kids because we knew that like they didn't, necessarily always get food at their own houses. And it's like, that's when neighborhoods really were like communities and people knew each other. And it was like, everybody's in the shit, but at least, there's some sense of I don't know, cohesion.
Yeah. A film that I saw, and people need to see this film. And if they take out the aspect of the black man on trial being defended in a southern town during the time that it takes place, if you actually
talking about To Kill a Mockingbird,
yes, if you watch that movie and you take that out, you take that scene out with, I think Brock Peters is the actor who's on trial. Love that guy; he's a good actor. When Gregory Peck is talking about all these other people paying him for being a lawyer and they're not paying money, well, that takes place during the time of the Great Depression, which technically we're kind of in anyway. If we didn't have the credit system, it wouldn't matter. But regardless, that's another topic for another day. They're talking, and Scout is asking, like, well, why is he paying you with nuts? Well, he doesn't have any money. Well, are we, she'll say, are we poor Atticus? He'll go, yeah. And they says, is this person poorer than us? And he goes, yeah, there are people, and they're describing what the fucking Depression is. And that how, Scout and her brother, Jem and Atticus, they're having it good. There are people who are not having it good. And why Atticus basically said, hey, this is why we do these things. Basically that's a visual interpretation. If you take all the court drama out of it, what American life was like back then, and you can learn something from that. If people aren't too busy being goddamn Nazis and burning the book because they're liberal shitheads.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that concerns me with a lot of the books they're trying to take out of schools, and also a lot of the stuff they're trying to take out of the books that they're leaving in schools. It's like Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer were really good examples of just, how people generally thought. And like, the fact that they used nigger in the books wasn't about racism. It was just Mark Twain writing down how people literally thought and spoke.
Yeah. And that's how my grandfather was. He would actually say that word and I go, what the hell does that mean? My dad tells me and I go, I don't get it. And he goes, you're not supposed to. My dad never used that word. That's the point. My dad never used that word. That word and certain behaviors and attitudes of those times slowly started to vanish and go away until stupid assholes that are currently around started making big deals out of them. And it was like, oh, we never even solved anything. Thanks, assholes. Well, they're going to if they want to continue taking stuff out of the schools and out of the books and everything, they're going to learn a very hard lesson, because what goes around comes around. And the rest of us who learn from this in the first place, we're going to be standing on the sidelines. We're going to have all we got. And I was like, oh, no, I have to fucking share, man. You got to learn the hard way. Well, no, we need your help. No, fuck you. Because you tried to burn us at the stake earlier, and now that this has come, you're wanting us to take care of you. No, we can say no, and we can get away with it because you failed to learn from history, which is what movies like books and movies such as To Kill a Mockingbird are about.
Yeah,
people want to talk about injustice. you watch that movie. That movie with what happened to Brock Peters, his characters was a genuine injustice, and why Atticus was so defeated that he couldn't uphold the law and what he knew was right, even though he squashed the shit out of competition.
But somebody asking you where you're from, that's the aggressive act. You know, it's just it's like, you know, here's this guy on trial basically completely against the law. But because he's black and the period of time it didn't fucking matter. But then you get these kids in college complaining because somebody like, oh, where are you from? Like, what nationality are you? You know, it's like, yeah, that's not racism. Like, you really need to learn the difference between like genuine racism and.
There's a quote I see occasionally on Twitter, and some people put it in the actual, you know, copy it down and copy paste it, and some people use it in memes. It's something about oh, no, it was, I'm going to put myself on mute and look that up. You guys keep going.
All right. Well, it was just me. Brain crash. Engelhardt is in the chat. So Engelhardt is usually a person in the show, but so hopefully you're feeling better, Mr. Engelhardt. Let's see. CNN, It's a Wonderful Life. CNN is now basically going after It's a Wonderful Life, a Christmas movie, saying that it's essentially it's all about sexism. Apparently, Mary changing her job to marry George in the film is just it's all about horrible gender roles and terrible fucking advice that movies are giving. It's like it's bizarre how much they're attacking. I mean, like, I think there was a big push to go after Star Wars too, the newest Star Wars, about
I wish they would
sexist or something like that. Well, I mean, the movie itself was awful, but
okay. So I got the quote. I see it occasionally on Twitter, but it's actually something Aaron McGruder, the creator of the Boondocks, wrote, and he goes, where Huey Freeman says, "I did a battle with ignorance today, and ignorance won." That's what it's going to be like. That's what it's like on a lot of levels. And us older timers, we're like, we don't give a shit. We don't have to. We still choose to make a choice to tell you to piss off, and we don't have to deal with your ignorance, whether you like it or not. And to say that a Christmas, to say A Wonderful Life is sexist, these are the genuinely ignorant people, and unfortunately, on a certain level, they are winning. And when they think they've won and they've had their complete victory, that's when they're going to realize the rest of us that they thought they triumphed over, they've done no such thing.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, it's going to be an empty victory. So, that's what I was going to talk about. I totally forgot this. It's starting to show, because there's a lot of companies now who are, if not at least completely unwilling to, they're starting to get really leery of hiring kids out of college. Because they're like, kids are coming out of college, they can't fucking read and write basic English, they barely understand math. If in most cases they don't, and there's all these issues where they're just so uneducated.
Yeah, it's one of those things that where if you go into a grocery store and you're and they do use computers for cash registers these days, which fucking kills me.
Yeah.
If they don't know how to ring up by hand, you know, if you have two products and you know they come up to, like, say $7.50 plus tax in your state, and the cashier's like, well, I don't know what it is because I can't put the barcode in. I'm like, why don't you just fucking walk over and actually read and then put two and two together and write? They can't do it because they haven't been trained, B, don't know how.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And there are and I've had this happen, and I've had it to where older folks work at a grocery store. I'll go in and they all know me. It's like fucking Norm from Cheers. They'll say, "Hey, Dade." I'm like, "Hey," and I just go do my thing. And the lady who has register number one, because she's the best cashier that they have, she's had her computer go down. She goes, "No, I know exactly what," and she'll start writing it all out. and she'll know, I know this product, this product, this product, this product, and she's maybe 10 years older than I am. This product, this product, this product, and she's got my bill all figured out. So by the time it comes in, she just rings everything through. She's maybe a penny off or two, but woo. And all the younger kids are like, how did she do that? I said, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She knows how to. I was like, what are you talking about? You know, and I really want to say it's because she knows how to do her job, but it's kind of like, what are you guys talking about? She just rang me up. She knows what she's doing, don't you? And they're like, well, I wouldn't have been able to do that if the computers went down. I said, well, how many people actually, and I said this one day, and I said, how many people here have their cell phones in their pocket? And they were like, we don't have any, and I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. And it's like, well, see, that's the problem. You're so used to using a computer for fucking general basic math that you don't know what the fuck you're doing otherwise. You couldn't use an abacus like I could. Not that I would ever want to, but you know, you can't do you can't do long form mathematics on a pen and piece of paper with a pencil and an eraser if you fuck up, and you know, you always have to put it in your cell phone or your calculator or whatever. Yeah. And there's those people that's all they do, and then they don't know how to read a damn clock if it's not digital. I'm like, you don't know how to read a clock? What the fuck? You not know how to tell time? And these are little kids that are under 10. I'm like, and I said, what time is it? And I will point at the clock above the swimming pool. I don't know. And I go, you can't tell that it's 3:15 in the afternoon? Well, it doesn't say it. And I go, yeah, it does. The big hand is on the 3 and the little hand's on the 3, and it's 3:15 in the afternoon. Well, it's not digital. I said, you're screwed. And I'd walked right off. I said, you guys are in so much trouble. But it's unfortunately come to that. So.
Yeah, I remember people being amazed that I knew how to do calculate the tax on things. When I worked in a restaurant, I could calculate the tax in my head. They found that fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, that's sad.
And I was only a few years older than them, dude.
Yeah. It's sad that they can figure out taxes, or sad that we can. That everyone else couldn't.
It's amazing that he can figure out like taxes in his head. It's not that hard. It's just
it's not, dude. And I was only a few, like 2 or 3 years older than them. It's not like there was a huge gap, dude. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you kids are fucking retarded.
Well, let him be retarded, because I've got a kid who's in the United States Air Force, and I don't have to worry about her survival if a zombie apocalypse were to happen tomorrow. My wife and I, my parents, we'd be fine. Everybody else, they wouldn't know what the fuck to do with. The first thing the communication lines go down, I can't use my cell phone. I'm like, it's a zombie apocalypse, dipshit. I don't give a fuck about a cell phone. I'm driving my car over to my parents' house. Have you not figured that one out? Huh? Yeah, thought so.
What's going on with you, Arth?
Mostly not trying to die from disease.
Speaking of zombie apocalypse.
I thought that was a good segue.
Is, usually here with us, Dave, by the way. He's almost always here on Sunday nights.
No, I'm a usual. All right. Walk into the bar, everyone knows me, knows my drink. They have me have my drink up before I even sit down. That kind of thing.
It's Engelhardt with his stuffy nose, his sore throat, sounding like he's about to die, with the sight of whatever you got in the bottle there. Make sure it's not the zombie apocalypse solution. Have a nice day.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do appreciate you not coming over tonight then, in that case.
Sharing is
actually like in my house. We've set up so So I'm very glad in this particular case he chose to stay home.
But you needed to have what I have.
No, God, no. I usually
suffer with your buddy, man.
Because I work in mental health, and the clients always pick up whatever is out running around the community for some reason. I don't know how. It's almost like being schools, like a school employee almost.
If you keel over and I'm still keeled over, then Daytwa can have his one-man show.
Yeah. Well, if you keel over and then Stabby keels over, then Daytwa's gonna say, "Dave, get your ass over." He says, "I don't want to keel over. I'm good."
Everybody
I don't have anywhere near either of these two fuckers, so I'm
safe. I'm gonna luck out on that one. But yeah, no, we were talking.
Virus in the mail.
Signed, sealed, delivered. Sorry, I like that song. I've been listening to it a lot lately. How do you guys not know what Signed, Sealed, Delivered is as a song? Come on. You guys are all older than I am.
I just was reading Akinaro in the chat was saying I have a nice 180/90 blood pressure. I could feel your car wheels if you have a flat tire. I'm just thinking, that's pretty fucking high, man.
God damn, dude.
Okay.
So what's the song and who's it by?
Oh, it's called Signed, Sealed, Delivered, and I have no idea who it's by.
Well, then how would we know just because we're older than you?
Because
I want to say
I'm assuming
Aretha Franklin's band. Hold on a second here. Let me check. I forget the name of the band, but she used to be like Aretha Franklin and the something or other, but I could be wrong about that.
This is Stevie Wonder, but that's got to be a cover, I would imagine.
Is it?
All of them say Stevie Wonder, dude. What the fuck?
Oh, it's just Brandy Harkonnen here when I just put in who the writer is.
I keep getting Stevie Wonder.
We're probably looking at Stevie Wonder.
The Supremes.
Unless it's Peter Frampton that you're talking about, and if that's the case, I never listened to that shit.
Wasn't that Diana Ross?
No, Peter Frampton. I was 2 years old when that fucking thing came out. Because of course, you know how it is. You can have a song that has the same title, but it's completely different.
Right. Linda Tucker was the co-writer who was one of the members of the Supremes, who was before the Supremes was a member of Stevie Wonder's backup band.
Yeah, it's very much Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
That's probably who you're thinking.
And if we're talking about Stevie Wonder, apparently it flew over my head because I didn't know he sang that. I was Mr. I grew up with Stevie Wonder in the 80s, so
yeah.
Fair.
Well, he's the original singer, but I bet you the Supremes did a version, and that's probably the one Engelhardt is thinking of.
That's and also you hear like variations of it all the time, and so you forget which one came first. Unless you have it sitting in front of you.
With classic blues and stuff, and R&B and a lot of the soul, you got a lot of people performing a bunch of the same songs.
Bobby Burt, the Osmond, Marcia Haynes, Sarita Wright, the Boys Town Gang, Chaka Khan did it in '88. Fucking California Raisins. Should I go on? Fucking Jamiroquai did that song in the '90s. God forbid.
California Raisins.
Kim Wilde did it in '95. I mean, just musical bevy of people that have done the song.
Lord, who hasn't covered it?
I don't know. How many rap artists who have actually had 5 ghostwriters use samples from the song, saying, "Oh, I was the first one to do it." Bitch, you can't write your own song. We know you didn't write the music.
Oh well, what I mean. Like it's like Taylor Swift claims to write all of her songs too, and it's like that's not true.
There are a few that she's done that she did call and she's actually like contacted the artist and be like, "Hey, I want to use this." So she has done it right a few times, but
I mean, Taylor Swift. So like, there's about 3 or 4 songwriters that write most of the really big hits now.
Yeah,
most of the big hits over the last like decade or so were really written by
and they all sound like shit.
Yeah, we're all written by like 2 Swedish people and 1 American person, and they all basically just write all the songs. The basic way it works is the saying in the industry is change a word, take a third. So essentially, they'll go to this person, then they'll get the song, and then the artist will change 1 or 2 words that are basically of no consequence. Then the artist, like Taylor Swift or whoever, gets a third of the income, and then like a third goes to the record company and a third goes to the writer. But it's all written down. They say, "Oh no, Taylor Swift wrote all her own stuff."
Well, it just goes to show you that none of them have any real skill. If you go to a record store and you take a Judas Priest album, you're going to see one of 3 guys' names on the Judas Priest credits. You're going to see either KK Downing, Glenn Tipton, or Rob fucking Halford, and maybe Ian Hill. The 4 guys in Judas Priest.
They were being honest.
But the thing, my point is, to this day, they still know how to write their own music and their own songs, as opposed to having somebody, and I'm not saying Taylor Swift, like some fucking rap artist that says, yeah, I wrote the song, and then you actually go, for whatever reason, look up the information. There's fucking 12 people who contributed to it. It's like, no, you didn't write it. These 12 people did. You just put your name on it. You're a fucking hack. I mean, to me, you are a hack. If you're an artist, this is why these modern musicians fail for shit. They wish. There are just a bunch of overpriced crybaby prima donnas who wish they could be as good as Michael Jackson was on his weakest album, which probably you could argue whatever the weakest one was, but they didn't even fit to fill his shoes on any fucking level. Michael Jackson, whatever you want to say about the man, was a fucking genuine artist in his field, because 99% of the time he wrote his own shit, and even when he did work with somebody, he was still had his name on every bit of music and lyrics somehow. So that man knew how to write his own shit. These kids these performers these days, they fucking prima donnas. They don't have a fraction of the talent Michael Jackson had on his worst day. End of story.
Yeah.
Oh, Akinar makes a good point.
The Beatles wrote their own shit, dude.
Yeah. I said Akinar makes a good point. Modern musicians do it for money, not for music. And I think he was right. So.
But
I don't know whose money they're getting, because they're not getting mine.
Yeah, he also said the only good song is the Macarena, so yeah. Obviously a joke, dude, but that's pretty good.
No, he's dead serious. Dead serious.
Another
look into his eyes, dead fucking serious.
Like Willie Nelson has written a lot of songs that a lot of people don't know he's written.
Yeah, that's true, man.
He's a very prolific songwriter. He's written a lot of the big hits that are out there.
Yeah, we went through a list of his, didn't we, one time?
Yeah, we did go through a list of his. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff he's written that a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
What's interesting also is his son sounds just like him when he sings.
No shit.
Yep. Copy paste.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, because that's usually not the case.
Yeah. Does he also not pay his taxes?
He's his son. He's like, he can copy paste shit all he wants.
Yeah, that's true.
You can copy paste voice.
Really, if you really want to go that route, let's talk about. Well, we don't have to talk about it. Say, let's just mention Hank Williams Sr. and Hank Williams Jr.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
You know, and they don't sound anything alike, but they both could write.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So.
Nice.
I can stop saying Macarena in the chat. You're fucking. It won't leave my head now.
Hey, Macarena.
You know, if
you're not helping.
You know, if he didn't have a wrench, I would boot his ass out for that shit.
Akinar was our longest term fan. He has been with our show and since like the very beginning. We can't kick Akinar out.
If he keeps talking about the Macarena, I don't give a shit.
That's okay.
I looked at that crap once enough already. Thank you very much.
Yeah, trust me, that's nowhere nearly as bad as Akinar can get in the chat, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, what is it?
We're glad he's only talking about the Macarena. Let's just put it that way.
I worked with a guy who worked at an assembly place prior to the job we worked together. And he said it was the worst thing in the world because they would literally play that song over and over all day.
And then I shot myself.
We just put it on record. We didn't even play like the other songs that band wrote or anything.
You know, I'm actually surprised. Radio stations don't lose callers, because that's one of the things I've always pointed out to people. They'll play songs in continual perpetuity. And then they'll fade out of fashion, and then you might hear the song like 10 years later, and it's like, oh yeah, that's not a bad song. You hated the song when it came out. Yeah, because they didn't know when to shut the fuck up. To this very day, there's a reason I don't listen to rock stations on my in my car radios, because they will play the same fucking old shit all the time, and it's kind of like,
it's like an hour playlist that just repeats.
And they repeat it. It's like, this band has done other stuff. Well, this is what we get asked to play all the time. I said, how many fucking losers out there do you know want to hear AC/DC Shook Me All Night Long? That song fucking sucks in the first place. It's fucking overrated. And fucking I'd resurrect Bon Scott from the, depths of hell or whatever, or his ashes. And if he said fucking never play that song again before he went back to wherever he is, I mean, I'd do it, because Fuck that. That song sucks. And to this day, I hate that song. So, I own a copy of Back in Black, and I said I wish I could buy a version where the song wasn't on it.
Yeah,
and that's what the skip button's for.
I think they don't have DJs anymore. Not really.
I mean, they're more talk shows.
Yeah, well, but I mean, a DJ at a radio station used to really like set up a different set of songs every day. You would never be listening. Like you'd listen to the big popular ones, but they'd also play a lot of other like B-side stuff that you'd never hear anymore on the radio.
Yeah, they would break it up. They play the hits and then intersperse it with shit that they liked that they thought people should hear. Yeah, it's all bullcrap.
It's like an art that just doesn't exist. Sorry, I was taking a drink. I was going to rejoin. I swear.
Actually, on that note, I should peace out. So, have a good night, fellas.
Get some sleep, man.
Thanks for stopping by, Hearth. Hope you feel better, man.
Will do.
And if not, get over here and get stabby sick.
No, don't come over to my house. So.
Pay stabby.
My doors are locked.
So, well, I honestly don't know what else you guys want to talk about. It is 2:34 here, my time central.
Oh yeah. No, we usually run for another hour or two, but you're welcome to take off if you're getting late for you. I definitely understand that.
No, it is for me. That's why I said, "Hey, you guys are we're doing it at 12:30 at night your time." I'm like, I don't know if I can stay up that late.
Oh yeah,
my wife is just like, you're going to stay up. I'm like, shit. So I was watching old episodes of Star Trek DS9. I'm like, oh, they're just now starting. Oh, well, they can wait fucking 5 minutes. My man, I'm almost finished with our man Bashir. Fuck these guys. So, all right, I am going to go. Thank you for having me on. Anytime you guys want me back, let me know. I love talking about fun stuff that is not political more than anything.
Yeah,
we try to keep anything political light. Like we don't generally go into like really heavy duty shit.
Yeah, I go on to like one place. I go on to one channel where they do talk heavy political, and that's it. And it's kind of like, yeah, you guys got me for this over here, but everybody else is, I'm not going to do political shit, which is why I'm not on a lot of live streams anymore. I used to do them left, right, and center. It's kind of like everybody started talking about the same shit. And it's like, I don't want to deal with this shit. And it's like, well, you can't. It's like, no, it burns me out. I'm done. I'd rather talk about what stuff we talked about tonight and say, yeah, great. We have a differing of opinion on things, but we're not going to, 2 seconds later on Twitter, fuck this guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I might when you guys least suspect it, but at least you know I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just kidding. Everybody have a great night. I'm out.
Oh, yeah. Peace out.
Nice
bye.
Oh man, now we're gonna have to figure out what to talk about.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Got nothing. What else is happening?
What else is
now
happening?
We can talk about politics.
And then we can talk about politics. I don't know. I know that they're going to be filling Rush Limbaugh's space in, sort of like on politics a little bit. But I think Rush Limbaugh is going to be retiring soon.
Yeah,
or at least
he's been out of a while.
Vacation. Huh?
Yeah, he can go back to his OxyContin habit.
Yeah, really. But it looks like this guy might go in and fill in for him. I don't remember what is his name.
I don't even recognize him.
He was on Justified. He was a real fun character on Justified. If anybody's ever watched that show, it's a lot of fun.
Nick Searcy. All right.
Nick Searcy. Yeah, super conservative guy. Wouldn't surprise me if he did well, though. He kind of has a similar feel to the... Yeah, because Rush Limbaugh kind of has that sort of folksy, homey, kind of added like accent that kind of works for him.
Oh, right on.
And if anything, Nick Searcy is even more like down home country goodness.
Yeah.
So he'll probably...
Yeah, I never liked Limbaugh. I don't know about you, but I never liked Limbaugh, dude.
No, I'm not a fan. I'm just saying, like, I think it's a good match, politically speaking.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, no, Limbaugh really annoyed me because again, he had the fucking serious painkiller addiction, and he fucking gets done with that, and he still talks shit about fucking like drug addicts and shit, like he's not one.
Oh, like he isn't doing that. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, no, even after he went to rehab or whatever he did to fucking get off the shit, he fucking kind of doubled down on the fucking fuck the druggies kind of shit, dude. Yeah, he's a fucking I never liked him, dude.
Well, I mean, I don't understand people's issue with things like putting people in. I don't know, putting people in prison. I don't know, really. Does it really ever help anybody get off of drugs? Like, I mean, is it?
Yeah, well, some, but yeah, it's kind of extreme. I think. Well, nowadays, honestly, they are getting a little better about it, and like they're making people go to rehab instead of. Or they are here. I don't know about any other places, but here, a lot of times they'll put you into a drug program where you have to go to rehab, you have to attend meetings, and that kind of shit. And then if you're still fucking up, then they'll send you to prison.
My question is, though, also is as another thing is like, what if we just let those people get jobs when they're doing the drugs? Like, if it wasn't illegal to, like if people would hire them, like if they could earn money other than like stealing, like would that mitigate a lot of the issue?
At least income is definitely society in general. Yeah. Yeah, it depends on the drugs, but some of them get really expensive, but right.
No, I'm sure, but like they're finding out in a lot of these other countries that are starting to work with like letting people do heroin of all things, which is pretty fucking extreme.
Yeah, that's about as extreme as it gets, dude, as far as money thing.
But they're finding that if they just provide them with heroin, that it turns out they're perfectly capable of like keeping jobs and not stealing shit and not committing a bunch of crimes. So it's like, I'm wondering, like, I wonder how much longer the sort of crazy extreme drug war thing is going to last. Because like they're kind of getting a little bit of the last gasp with Jeff Sessions kind of renewing his fight against weed.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, dude. Yeah, no, it's the prohibition, the drug prohibition thing is just again, you're never gonna win the fucking war on drugs. And yeah, again, too many people want it. The prohibition of it is causing more problems than it's fucking helping, obviously. Again, pretty obvious at this fucking point anyway. So yeah, you might as well legalize it. And again, like you said, even if it's not the actual heroin, if you're fucking providing, even if it's methadone or fucking Suboxone or whatever, it's keeping them from being sick. And the fucking dope sick is fucking terrifying, dude. Like it'll make you do whatever the fuck you have to do. It'll be the minimum that you have to do. You're not going to go out and fucking club a baby if you don't have to. But, like you're going to do the minimum. You're going to do something bad if you have to. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
To avoid that.
Because steal someone's TV or some shit.
I'm just telling you, dude, knowing that withdrawal is coming is the most terrifying fucking feeling I've had as an adult, for sure, dude.
Well, I remember when I still used to smoke just cigarettes, and I was chilling out in San Francisco, kind of down in an alley where this blues dance was. I felt like I should add the blues dance after I realized, like, saying I'm just chilling out in an alley in San Francisco sounds a little weird and creepy.
Yeah,
but I'm having a cigarette outside, and some dude's walking down the street. He's like, "Oh, hey, can I bum a smoke?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And so I let him have a cigarette, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, man. I was about to start breaking windows looking for cigarettes, but
God damn,
rock that he was holding that I hadn't noticed because I was fucking not paying attention."
Jesus Christ, dude.
This dude was about to just start walking down the fucking street, breaking into fucking cars for a cigarette. I mean, so there's always going to be people like that who just
right. Yeah,
but I'm not sure if that's necessarily the drugs or if that guy's just a real fucked up individual.
Yeah, I don't know. Cigarettes is pretty powerful, but I can't imagine doing that. I would rather go to an ashtray and pick out somebody's fucking cigarette that only had like 1 or 2 drags left on it before I'd be doing that shit.
Oh, that's yeah, for sure. Oh, we have clients that'll do that shit. Oh, it's so gross.
Yeah.
Like they'll go out on like an outing where they get to go like walk down to the mall or something. And they'll go and like dig through ashtrays there and like smoke cigarettes. Like the last little like hit or two off of it, like a cigarette butts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, and then generally the mall asks them not to come back because having people like digging through ashtrays and trash cans
Not good for business?
Turns out not good for business.
Shocking.
They're not a fan.
Yeah, who knew? God damn, dude.
Well, that's what's interesting. One of the issues we had was we had an issue that the police needed to come out and take one of our clients to psychiatric emergency, essentially like a locked facility kind of thing for the night.
Right.
And they just flat out refused it. It's because we used to have this one guy who would like just leave without asking. So anytime, all of our clients are conserved. So essentially they're like minors. So anytime they just take off in the middle of the night, we have to call the police to go look for them. We have to file a report.
Right.
So this dude would take off all the time, like every other fucking night. And he'd literally like walk around this mall in the middle of the night when everything was closed, digging cigarette fucking butts out of the ashtrays and half drunk sodas out of the fucking trash cans.
Jesus.
For like hours.
That's insane, man.
So eventually the cops started hating us because, you know, we'd have him there every fucking time. And now that he's gone, now they don't fucking listen to us anymore. So this fucking
dude ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, we're like, somebody can take a swing at somebody and the cops are like, yeah, we're not coming.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Yeah, it sucks, man. You know, especially when it's, because again, I assume you guys have some shit where like, dude, you shouldn't be fucking handling it. You know, people going nuts or whatever. Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary though, man, because like, you know, if you got a real fucking situation now, cops are gonna fucking associate it with that dude, you know, and kind of think you're crying wolf, basically.
Well, what's probably gonna happen is the uppity uppers at the mental health agencies that we work with, and my boss's boss's boss, the guy that runs the company, is gonna go talk to the police chief.
Right.
Now, again, because this has happened before, and it's like the guy apparently has to go and educate each officer that pulls his shit.
Yeah.
One at a time. And so, you know, we got the guy's name and badge number. He's definitely going to have a discussion with some people that's going to end really poorly on his side of it.
Right.
But it's just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, having to actually do that is a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, so if I'm off or a little weird, it's because I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, and I, for some reason, am fucking incapable of napping. Like, I try to nap, but I just don't go to sleep.
Yeah, although that can be restful too. Do you meditate, dude?
Well, it turns into basically meditation. I do meditate occasionally. Yeah, it essentially becomes meditation because at a certain point, you either get really angry that you can't sleep trying to nap, or you have to just fucking like zone out and kind of meditate and just be in the moment.
Yeah, and honestly, the meditation is more restful. Yeah, honestly, if you're doing it right, meditation is actually more re-energizing and restful than regular sleep is, man.
Than taking like a nap in the middle of the day. Yeah, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But sooner or later, the lack of sleep catches up with you. Like, you couldn't meditate 8 hours a night and not sleep, I don't think.
I don't know. If you're doing it right, it's not that much different, dude. It's really not.
I just think sooner or later your body's going to need the full shutdown, though, because the REM sleep is the part that keeps you from fucking going crazy.
Yeah, that's just true. It's true. But
and
seriously,
I'm not sure. Well, I mean, it's probably possible to go into REM, or at least similar to REM states in meditation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you get really deep into it, which I really haven't for a while, I haven't meditated as much as I should. But man, you get really into that deep state, man. It's really fucking close.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, I don't know how that would compare. I wonder if they've ever done a study on that, like compared people that meditate to just regular sleep, and how it affects like your cognitive functions.
That is interesting. You know what's interesting is just to look at what similarities and dissimilarities are there in brainwave patterns between meditation and sleep.
Yeah, especially between meditation and REM sleep. Specifically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, but I mean, in all the different stages, it'd be interesting to see like if they're close to like one or another stage, and if so, how close. And does it depend on type of meditation, like, because I'm, like there's transcendentalism, there's other forms of, there's multiple forms of meditation, I should say.
Yeah, and there's shit that's really essentially just deep breathing and relaxation, and then there's shit where you're actually really zoning out and.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's like transcendentalism, there's religious meditation, there's a bunch of different ways you can go about it in different schools.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Because some people, I believe, actually end up sort of getting high off of their own brain chemicals. That makes sense. Like, I know there's ways to do that. It was never something that appealed to me.
Yeah, well, I get a really pleasurable sensation between my eyebrows, like where they say the third eye is.
Okay.
I get a really pleasurable sensation right there. It's weird.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is people who literally like experience visions like they've left their body.
Oh, gotcha.
Like the people that go.
I've always found that shit really fascinating. The remote viewing or the out of body experiences. I think I've talked about it here about like Ingo Swann, and because Ingo Swann was kind of the original.
Well, I would imagine it's probably similar to like the Whirling Dervishes, and there's another group that does a similar kind of thing where essentially it fucks with the temporal lobe of the brain.
Oh, right.
And so the temporal lobe of the brain is the part that kind of gives you an idea of where you are and who you are. If that's like your location. Without the temporal lobe, how is it that this one guy described it? Because he had temporal lobe seizures. He felt like he was God when it was disengaged due to seizures. Like he was God and everyone all at once.
That is an interesting feeling, dude. I wouldn't mind.
So that's one of the things that basically like Whirling Dervishes and stuff do, and a lot of prayers sort of engage it in a similar fashion, like really deep prayer, like monks and stuff that really get into it.
Right.
Experience similar kind of feelings and show similar brain patterns to the guy that was having seizures in his temporal lobe. So I wonder if the transcendentalism, the people that leave their body are kind of having a similar region of the brain affected.
Yeah. It's all, like I say, I find all that shit fascinating. Like, I assume there's some people that are full of shit, but I assume there's a possibility that, again, that's probably to my detriment sometimes, but I just kind of consider everything technically possible, even if it sounds crazy.
No, that's a sound school of thought, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of why it's kind of the way science looks at shit. As incredibly improbable, but almost nothing is definite, and almost nothing is pretty much nothing is definite, nothing is impossible.
Yeah, that's a really good way. Honestly, like, as long as you're not losing sight of like likelihood of certain events or unlikelihood of certain events, kind of thing.
Right.
Not thinking that something is possible or thinking that everything is possible and nothing is impossible is actually a pretty reasonable school of thought, at least in my opinion. You're amongst friends, I guess.
Right. Well, yeah, but then because again, I read shit about Ingo Swann being able to fucking remote view shit fucking anywhere, not even just on the planet, but apparently fucking going to the moon and fucking going to Jupiter and shit like that. I find that interesting. Actually, there's
and you know what? Whether it's true or not, for him it's true, and that's got to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, you would hope so. He worked with the government like back in the 70s with this shit, like fucking spying and like trying to spy on Russia and shit like that. Apparently,
yeah, of course.
yeah, because apparently we found out that the Russians were trying that shit, so we had to try it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I'm like, oh shit, if they got psyops agents, we gotta have psyops agents. But yeah, apparently he actually worked with the government for quite some time, man. And they would do shit like going to the moon kind of as a diversion because he'd get kind of burned out on doing the regular shit. And apparently the way it works is he would get like a some random numbers or something that, and the numbers were not really important other than the person giving them the numbers had something in mind that associated with those numbers. I don't know if that really makes sense, but it didn't really matter what the numbers were that he gave them. It just mattered that it meant to go to this spot at this, and see what was going on. He didn't have to know, like, he didn't need coordinates, although I guess they did coordinates at first. Like, they would use, like, specific GPS type coordinates, but it turned out they didn't even need that. They just needed to, kind of think of whatever they wanted it to be, and that worked just as well.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really looked into any of that kind of stuff. I didn't really. But it sounds interesting, and it sounds like it's cost a lot of our money.
Right. No doubt. Yeah. Although there's one, what the hell is it called? It's Farsight something, dude. There's actually a YouTube page for this shit, dude. Let me see. I can't remember exactly. I think it's Farsight Institute or Farsight Press. Farsight Press.
Well, the clinical director we used to have, the one that ended up leaving our company and then going to like India to teach meditation or some other crazy shit. I remember more than once he would talk about like astral projection, and he'd be like, and it's real dangerous. You don't want to fuck around with that stuff. And it was just like, all right, dude. Whatever, man. Whatever you say, like buddy. Him, I didn't believe, but it'd be interesting to hear about this other guy as opposed.
Right. Yeah. So it's English one.
Some people are just trying to make themselves sound cool.
Yeah, dude. I'll put it in the chat.
Well, I wonder if. What was it? I wonder how long that channel's going to last. Because I know there was a lot of channels where people would talk about their experiences with hallucinogenics that were.
Or DMT.
DMT stuff, mushrooms, LSD, all that stuff. They basically talk about all the different ones they would take, and they're getting real fucked over now. So I mean,
let's see what. But all that one is just people doing essentially what I was talking about with I think with Swan. They would get, something to view, or I haven't watched it in a bit. It doesn't come up in my feed as often, even though the bell's rung or whatever. But it's
nothing comes up in my feed that I watch half the time, man.
Yeah, unless it's if I miss even just one, like I'll end up not hardly ever getting them, and from that point on, it's weird. Like I usually get this because I always pull up, to look at the chat. I always pull up the Untitled Studios thing.
Yeah.
But anything else?
Well, I used to listen to music a lot, like right on YouTube. Where you just set up go and click on a playlist or something, and I still watch music videos. Like usually the last 5-10 minutes before I go to work, I'll sit and watch music videos.
Right.
Like unless somebody I know is streaming. Like I think I watched Mad Metal the other night. Mad Metal Man streaming, so I was like, I'll watch him for a couple minutes before I leave. But usually I watch music videos.
I don't know if I'm subbed to him.
Huh?
I don't know if I'm subbed to him, dude. I'm gonna check.
Oh, you should check. Yeah, Mad Metal's man's got some fun streams out. Yeah, definitely. But like there's one selection that's the playlists of all these different music playlists will pop up. Like it'll be like the songs that you listen to, the playlist for that song, and it'll be just stuff similar. And it used to be you click on one of those and you'd get a lot of similar songs. Now you just get a lot of garbage that you know fucking not even remotely connected. But even weirder was I clicked on My Mix, which is supposed to be like essentially most of the songs you listen to on a regular basis kind of just set up in a playlist.
Right.
And there's songs on there I've never listened to before in my life.
Yeah. So YouTube's fucking with that too and throwing their shit in there.
I'm like, what? And it's stuff that I would never listen to. Like it's not even remotely anything I'd want to hear ever.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
I don't know, man. Like, and it's not that it's bad. I'm sure like Mexican folk polka music is great. I'm not a fan.
Right.
And I don't listen to it on a regular basis. So I don't know why it popped up in my fucking feed.
Yeah, that is bizarre, dude. I rarely look at anything other than my actual feed. Like I don't even go to the home shit anymore. I never go to trending. I still go to the home thing occasionally, but it's almost all just my subscriptions feed because I have to check
occasionally I'll find new stuff that I haven't seen before in areas where I'm interested, but it's extremely rare.
No, that's why I say I do it occasionally, but trending, never, dude. I literally never.
Not trending. No, never trending. But just like the recommended.
Yeah. No, like on mine it says it's the home page. If you click on home, it'll be stuff that's like stuff from your channels that you're subscribed to from like weeks ago or months ago, and then shit that's kind of like that. So I like that one sometimes. Although again, even that one, it's pretty rare that
I've never clicked on home before.
Really? It might be. I'm talking about from my phone, so it might be different.
No, there is one, and it shows like a list of different channels that you watch and like continue watching in your history. I've always clicked on the YouTube button, I think, which does the same thing, or at least a similar thing.
Let me see what it looks like on here. Yeah, see, I'm hardly ever on my desktop. Upload YouTube apps, notifications. Yeah, see, it's definitely set up differently here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't even see the home button.
Yeah, I always click the YouTube button itself.
Yeah, maybe that's the same thing. Let's see.
Could be. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's although the weird thing is Why Does Kids You Know stuff started popping back up on my feed. So that at least was a pleasant surprise. I don't know if you've ever watched them, but their shit is so fucking funny.
Yeah, no, I watched the butter one, the butter bar earlier too.
That just barely scratches the surface, man. You can find all their stuff on YouTube. Like it's all out there. I remember them.
It was on MTV, wasn't it? Or was it not?
It was an independent film channel, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it's I don't know why, but it kind of reminded me of The State from MTV. Remember The State?
Oh,
that show. It was a sketch comedy show. Like that. Yeah, they had some good shit on it.
Were they incredibly politically incorrect?
Pretty much. Yeah, it was pretty rough. But that was the 90s. That was back in the 90s, dude. That was when Beavis and Butthead.
At the same time, yeah, and they well, let me double check because I think I want to say they were, but they had like there's a one of their songs. They have a music video out, the Hitler rap, where it's a song about Hitler being like, "I've changed, everything is different." Yeah.
Jesus, dude. Yeah, that's pretty good, dude. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones.
Well, it began in 1999, and then it ran for like I think, all the way through 2009. But like. There were just like it was just real random. It changed a bunch of channels. It started on Fuse Network. It went to Independent Film Channel, and then they ran a bunch of reruns too. But it's an amazing fucking show.
Yeah, no, that one was good. I don't know if you saw my comment on there, but it was literally remind me of when I was a kid. I used to fucking sneak in and like fucking eat little chunks of fucking butter, and then
yeah. I would actually take kid, my mom would, like she would fucking give me the butter paper. You know what I mean? Like she'd unwrap a new stick of butter and like, or she'd be making cookies or something, and she'd give you the butter paper and be like, "Oh, here you can lick the butter paper."
Yeah,
I don't think parents do that shit anymore.
And probably not. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine.
Probably look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Yeah,
but little kids, it tastes like fucking salty goodness, man.
Yeah. No, butter's good shit, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that swigs of pancake syrup, dude. I used to sneak in and just take a fucking mouthful of pancake syrup. That's why my tweet was basically like, "Holy shit, I can't believe it took me till my mid-30s to get so fucking fat. Like, how was I not fat all these years?"
I think I've done that. I think I've probably done that. I mean, I used to take like spoonfuls of sugar too. I'm sure.
Yeah, I never did that, oddly enough.
So an activist projected a shithole and a bunch of poo emojis on Trump's hotel.
And dude, that reminds me. Did you see Chris? Is it Chris Cuomo? Is he the one that's on? I forget which one he's on, but his last name's Cuomo, and he's the one that brought out the whiteboard and actually wrote shithole on it on whatever news. I think it's CNN, but maybe not.
Oh, I don't know, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
But dude, here's the thing: is he fucking talked about how he forced his kids to watch the show, and then was all upset that his kids had to see this. He's like, I made sure my kids were watching the show tonight. And then later on, like, talks about how it's unfortunate that his kids, not exactly that blatant, but it was kind of like, dude, you're bitching about it, but you're the one that forced your kids to watch it. It's just really weird, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. They're nuts. They really wanted to fucking be outraged, man. It makes it tough because, again, if he actually does something that's truly, truly fucking horrible, their outrage level is always at 10, no matter what he does.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, where are you going to go if he actually does something truly horrific? You got nowhere to go.
I thought it's a little questionable how he opened California's coastline to oil drilling, but didn't open up Florida's coast. So I thought that was a little odd, weird. But I wonder if there's just not as much interest.
Or if he's like, fuck you, fucking California, you hippies.
I also kind of wonder if it's a little bit about the sanctuary cities. Because I know we've got a bunch of them in California. So, I mean, fuck, I just wish you would arrest the mayors of those cities.
Yeah, no, the sanctuary city thing is really bizarre to me.
Well, especially when you consider that, like, especially in like California, and I'm sure there's sanctuary cities in Arizona too. But when you consider that our two states give, what do you call it, welfare to illegal aliens.
Yeah, that is really fucking.
So it's like you're actively encouraging illegal aliens to come into your state. I mean, that's so fucking unacceptable to me.
Yeah.
Because it's not just going to affect California; it's also going to affect Oregon and Nevada and all these other states that are bordering our state.
Yeah,
in really negative ways.
Yep, it's pretty sick, man. I don't understand the fucking rationale behind that shit. Other than, again, the Democrats being like, oh, they'll vote for us, so let them in. And that, dude, did you see where that was actually proven? I think that happened this week, wasn't it? Where something leaked out that basically said, yeah, we basically let them in because, we don't really give a shit about them, but they tend to vote for us.
We all knew that. Though.
Yeah, it's just funny to see it, actual proof of it, man. Like, that's amazing.
I wonder if we were getting spied on by anybody.
Yeah.
Or if it'll be after we're done and somebody watches the recording.
Yeah, if they made it this far in, good for you. Go ahead and report back to your masters.
Geek came in apparently at some point while we were reading that article, the Aziz Ansari article.
All right.
And put a bunch of spy emojis like that was some sort of big fucking statement.
I think it was a joke. I think that, I assume he was doing it as a joke, dude.
Oh, no. Like, man, after I called out Tonkasan on that on Twitter, like, all his little fucking idiots were like, you're a fucking moron. You don't make any fucking sense. I'm like, man, my channel
just said it.
If anybody's fucking watching that, I mean, it would be insane if he didn't actually, like, I have to think he must have asked somebody to fucking report. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not. But it's just one of those things where it's like it's so fucking weird either way.
Yeah. No, I could easily see because obviously Geek is aware of the show and aware that you and Tonka don't get along. I could easily see him being the one that reports back to him.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I don't know.
No,
whoever reports back to him fucking is lying to him. Because he thinks I watch his show on the regular, like all the time or something, and I don't. I watched a couple episodes when it was first starting out and was just like, nope.
Yeah. But no, it kind of leads back to where we were talking about earlier about like why would you put that much like why do you care that much, dude? That's fucking amazing to me. If somebody came to me with, hey, these guys over here are talking smack, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't. But it's the same reason why he calls us talking about him here on this public forum that anybody can watch, talking behind his back. It's not.
Yeah.
He just feels like he should be able to be the one in charge of any kind of conversation, and if he doesn't get to dictate the rules, he's pissed off.
Yeah, and
that's why he's always like, "Oh, well, you'll never come on my thing. You'll never be a man and fucking talk to my face." It's like,
yeah, he says you're ducking him. Like, dude, we've seen the Kumite. We know what'll happen. You guys don't like each other. If you want to see Exhibit A, go watch the fucking Kumite with Ranting Monkey. That it will turn out worse than that.
But it'd just be a waste of my time. Like, because first of all, I'm not going to stay on there.
Yeah.
As soon as people just start yelling and screaming, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, I'm out. See you later, man.
Yeah,
there's no point. I wouldn't bother.
Yeah, and again, I understand why. I kind of understand why they view it as ducking, but no, it's how pointless it's gonna be, dude. It's not fucking.
Well, and I'm not interested.
It's not
in
ducking.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, clear. Like, I don't like Takusa. I'm not trying to fucking like him. I'm not trying to work anything out. I just occasionally he says stupid, ridiculous shit on Twitter, and I'm going to poke fun and I'm going to make fun of that. And I'm not going to stop just because everybody fucking, a bunch of people I don't know and don't give a shit about come and be like, oh, you're an idiot. And
although you kind of went back at AP harder than you needed to, dude. He wasn't really being that fucking.
He came in to fucking mock me and make fun of me, and I got to fucking slam him a little bit too. I mean,
well, not really. I mean, what I saw, he was just saying like, "Hey, man, if it's not your thing,
that's my
fine.
problem. No, that's my fucking problem. This bullshit attitude that if it's not my thing, I should just not watch it. That's such an insidious, fucked up bullshit thing to say.
He was more saying,
and I shouldn't comment on it, and I shouldn't fucking criticize it.
Yeah,
well, I should just leave them to do what they want. I should never criticize when they're being out of line.
Yeah. Well, his was more, he thought you were mocking people for watching it. And that's what I
No, I was mocking the people that went on it, not watching it. I don't care who watches it, man.
Yeah.
But at that point, I got so many people coming at me from so many different directions. To be fair, I'm not really paying that much attention. I'm just like, all right, well, if you guys want to be rude, then I'll be rude.
My point is, AP is generally okay, dude, and you came back at him pretty hard. But I understand why you did, because everyone else was already dogpiling you too. But AP's actually all right, dude. No.
Yeah, I just it must have made me think it was similar to I must have taken it to be similar to what Thrax was saying, where like you're not allowed to criticize something if you don't like it because I think it's cool. And you should just not watch it, but I should be able to talk shit about whatever I want to. And
it was a little different than that.
Kind of the same. It's the weird sort of.
Yeah, I can see how I got all mixed in, dude. But
because that's the part that really like pisses me. It's one of the things I tend to call out a lot. Is the like you can't criticize us, but we can criticize everyone else. And if you criticize us, then you're stupid and you're a bad person.
Yeah, that's
you're never going to actually defend anything.
Or that's when the fandoms
call you a dummy and say you're jealous or something. I'm like, come on.
That's when the fandoms get a little crazy. Is like, dude, everyone has something that can be they can be called out for, or made fun of about. Everybody, dude.
I'm sure I've said stupid shit, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've said stupid shit.
It's kind of our thing. But it's fucking like, dude, everybody has shit that can be made fun of, dude.
Oh, but I'm sure
that show is comical. I watched it for a while. I don't watch it anymore at all, actually, but I enjoyed it for a little while. I get it. But it's not something that I could continually watch. But again, it's okay. It can be pretty entertaining. But yeah, it's just there's definitely things that even when I was enjoying it, I could see were ridiculous. Obviously, the biggest one is him. I really want to know if he genuinely takes that undefeated record seriously. Like if he really takes pride in that, having something that is on his channel and voted for by his fans. I really want to know if he's just playing that up or if he actually like takes pride in being undefeated.
I hope he's playing it up, but I don't think he is.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that.
If he's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but again, yeah, to have your own fans vote on whether you won or not is pretty ridiculous, dude.
And then to take pride in that, like it's some sort of accomplishment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
That's the part
that's why I'm curious.
So I'm kind of hoping he doesn't really he's just playing it up for people that are fans. Like he's just sort of like, give and take of like, hey, I recognize that you guys like me kind of thing.
Yeah, because I still find the dude pretty enigmatic. Because like he does, you know, on one hand, you know, seems to hold on to anger for a really long time about everything, pretty much. Seems to have a really long memory for it and holds resentments for a really long time. But yet, on the other hand, like he gives everyone in his chat a wrench so that nobody can get you know, nobody can get censored essentially. So like I don't know, I just find him really enigmatic like that.
Well,
that's why I'm like, I don't know.
One thing, just because exactly. I don't like the guy doesn't mean that he's a terrible person.
Mm-hmm. It's just it's a personality clash.
Just, you know,
more than anything, it's a personality clash. I think. Yeah. But yeah, it's you know.
The most recent thing I criticized, it was interesting because the most recent thing I criticized, which is like the only contact I've had in like a month, or maybe a couple of weeks or something, but was he basically put out something that was like the ends justify the means. It was something about how like if my show has destroyed other shows by existing or something, then they deserved it. And I'm just like, that's fucking dumb. It's circular logic. It's just not an accurate, like it's not real. It's not right. It's dumb.
Right.
And so that's all I said. I was just like, you know, hey, that you can't. I basically pointed out that it was circular logic, and then said, "Oh, you're the coolest kid in junior high." And apparently, that was a lot aggressive. I don't know. I thought that was just flat out aggressive, to be honest.
No, well, it is that mindset for a lot of them, dude. I also have a thing with. I think it's kind of funny how Mediker's crowd doesn't seem to realize how cringy they are. Like Mediker's fans. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they really fucking drag shit out, and like they're still fucking. They will constantly fucking bring up a reference shit that like he's covered. Like again, the glow in the dark CIA niggers and you know all the other shit that he's done. They'll constantly fucking reference it, dude, and it just seems so fucking cringy to me.
Well, that's why I don't want to be a YouTuber. To be honest, like I love doing this show, and part of me would love to see more people watch it, but part of me doesn't want anybody to watch it.
Yeah, it seems like having a fandom is more
that kind of fucking.
Yeah, because I
can't change, and I got to just be the same shit every fucking time, and people are gonna remember jokes from like fucking years ago that aren't funny to me anymore. You know, like that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, I kind of am curious how Mediker actually considers that shit when he fucking sees that constantly. Like, does he just ignore it and not address it? And he like it bugs him, but he just doesn't address it. Although the other thing that kind of bugged me with Mediker is I don't know if you caught like him and Sargon's little thing. I don't know where it happened, but I saw a clip of him and Sargon kind of going at it.
I didn't know they went at each other.
Yeah, I'll see if I can send the clip to you. But basically, the thing that bugged me, it wasn't the fact that he said Sargon's up his own ass, because fuck yeah, I agree with that. And I fucking felt that way for fucking several months, dude. I unsubbed from Sargon a long time ago because of that fucking bullshit. But
he just started yelling about shit all the time, like an old man angry about people on his fucking lawn. Just like every video.
Yeah, but the thing I kind of took issue with is he kind of like was telling Sargon he was stupid for trying to affect any change. Like he thinks that's stupid to even try.
Mr. Matoker is very much a nihilist, and he's like sort of like, you know, he wants to watch the world burn. Like he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Although, why are you fucking deriding other people for it?
Well, have you seen?
Like he just thinks it's dumb and that it's not. He thinks it's impossible. He thinks it's impossible to enact any positive change. That's his
I know. That's what I was going on. And I'm like, have you seen the streams where he makes fun of the kids that get tricked into putting milk on their computers? So like, there's this thing where people will pretend to be Steam support or some other like technical support and trick children, like kids, like 10, 12-year-old kids into pouring like milk into their computer.
Oh, wow.
And he thinks it's the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Yeesh.
And I'm like, I can't, that's not funny, man. That's not okay.
Yeah, or getting him to delete the System32 file back in the day.
Well, yeah, stuff like that, exactly. But this is the computer's fucking done. So like, $1,000, $2,000 machine is fucking destroyed because you thought it was funny to trick some little kid.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I don't know enough of his history, but apparently he was involved with the Gamergate shit, right?
Yeah, as an internet aristocrat. So if you can find archives of the internet aristocrat videos, and he was big into anti-SJW then.
Yeah. All right. So even back then, did it seem like he was actually trying to affect any change back then?
He was absolutely trying to affect change. And he made this big, long, super dramatic video about how nothing was going to change, and everybody just was stupid for giving in to the social justice warriors, and everybody did everything wrong, and it was all like it was just basically like a big hissy fit kind of thing that he basically just walked away from the whole thing.
Oh, okay. You know what? That kind of makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah.
Now it's almost like he's fucking mocking people for still trying. And it seems to me like he's afraid to because it didn't work in his eyes.
Well, it's an uphill battle, and he was a very small voice in it.
Yeah, but it really seems like he's just afraid to try because he doesn't want to fail, like feel like he failed again. So now he acts like he doesn't care. You know what I mean?
Could be. I don't know. I mean, it's. I think part of him is just going after stuff that he finds to be entertaining, and he's trying to stay away from that arena just as a general.
Well, no. Again, though, my point is he was mocking Sargon for still trying.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's part of it too. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things involved. I'm sure, like.
Yeah, but it just seems
the people that do that kind of stuff on a regular basis, man. That kind of stuff when you don't.
Yeah, when it doesn't work
on a regular basis, at the very least, I'm guessing. Just has got to poison your fucking brain too.
Yeah. But I don't know, man, because he just thinks, well, you're fucking YouTuber. That's his kind of go-to line is you're fucking YouTubers. You're not going to change anything, and I think that's kind of bullshit. Like I think you can, dude.
And well, it's the not thinking that you can change anything that is the sort of poisonous sort of thought, really.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing is, if he actually tried, he probably could. He almost,
Well, he was making a lot of headlines with the internet aristocrat. The internet aristocrat channel was probably as big, if not bigger, than the channel he's got now.
Right.
And he was definitely one of the major voices in Gamergate. But as far as like the social justice issue at that point, he was really kind of a small. Like, and everybody was too. I mean, Sargon and everybody else. It really hadn't exploded that much. It was still mostly just Gamergate when he quit.
Mm.
And then it became a whole big like thing with like this anti-SJWs kind of sprung out of the Gamergate thing is when everybody started to realize like, oh wait, there's all this weird, crazy shit going on in colleges too right now, and this fucking people trying to get laws about like fucking dreadlocks and shit and trying to fucking segregate dorms.
Right.
Sort of exploded after that. That's when that kind of got real big. Because I didn't like Gamergate was what woke me up to everything.
Yeah, I missed Gamergate.
Yeah. But I'm a huge gamer, so that's why.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was. I just never really followed any gamer shit online. Like I played a lot of games and shit, but I never followed any of that shit.
I got banned from some of the server, like game servers that some of these places run, but I didn't really get into their like reviews. But I watched a lot of Let's Players, and so I saw a lot of the fringe kind of issues that were popping up, where like you'd see reviews for like you'd see Let's Plays and YouTubers reviewing the games, and you'd hear like, oh, that's a terrible game, but then you'd see that the game sells like fucking millions of copies on the first day, right. And it's all because the game review shows will say, yeah, it's because people are listening to these reviewers in magazines that aren't telling them the truth.
Yeah, no, the game journalist shit, it seems like it's still fucking garbage. Game journalism seems like
it
it's
hasn't changed at
99% garbage. Yeah, the Kotaku and all them. It seems incredibly corrupt, dude.
Well, what's happened is they just become relatively insignificant in comparison to where they were. They've lost a lot of their audience.
Yeah, I don't fucking doubt it, the way they fucking act. Like, dude, if you had any integrity, you'd probably still have some fucking, pull.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem is they're not really seeing the financial issues of it as much because a lot of the video game companies are propping them up.
Yeah.
So because they're
but
still
it seems crazy because they're
still affecting enough sales that it's worth it. So
yeah, that's nuts, dude. So they're essentially in the pockets of the game companies, dude.
Yeah, and the thing that's really sad is a lot of the people that get taken in by the game journos on these magazines are these online magazine type things, these online like Kotaku and whatnot.
Yeah,
are like parents or little kids.
Yeah.
And by little kids, I mean like 13 or 14, because to me that's little now.
Yeah, understood.
But, like they're getting taken in and maybe getting a game. They might only get a game, once every few months. And if they're being taken in by these fake reviews, they might blow their, $50 or $60 on a game that they're going to be playing for, 6 months on a total pile of garbage, thinking it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. No, but yeah, to get back to the thing is, it just kind of bugged me that he was just telling Sargon that he was stupid for still trying, dude. And it almost seems like he, especially after what you told me about the fact that it sounded like he did used to try, and now it seems like he's just kind of given up. The nihilist thing seems almost a little forced to me now. Like he's like, look how much I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man.
That's true. It could absolutely be. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he got hurt by it, and it hurt him deeply, and he doesn't want to fucking feel that shit again, dude.
Well, I'm just trying to say there's not only one motivation here. So you can't just say it's this one thing and that's it. That's what I'm trying to like. I think there's also a point of like at a certain point you gotta fucking do something different too.
Yeah, right.
Like he might, it's probably a combination of just not really being interested in continuing the sort of seemingly endless fight, but also there's
other shit to do.
Sometimes you just want to talk about weird, funny shit.
Yeah. But it seemed to me that I just I don't mind that, but it's just again, like I said, the main thing that bugged me was him mocking Sargon for still wanting to try.
Oh yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm going to send it to you because I mean Sargon was even saying like, dude, you should be the leader of this shit, and he's like, I don't want to do it. I said no back then or whatever, and I'm fucking definitely not doing it now.
Yeah, Well, he also doesn't want to get his name out there and not be able to go back to being like a high school teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the other thing. He definitely values his
high school teacher. He was a high school teacher, so part of why he isn't a high school teacher anymore is because of all this shit. So I mean, he's been getting fucked.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, that obviously is going to factor into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems a little try hard. The nihilism angle seems a little try hard to me, dude.
Well, and it's interesting. You can see a kind of microcosm of at least the part of people getting tired of doing the same old shit. Is if you see, I don't know if you've ever heard of Lieutenant Corbus.
No.
Lieutenant Corbus is a girl who started making YouTube videos at, I want to say 11 or 12. She's like 13 now.
Right.
But she started out with basically like Let's Play videos that she was commenting over. And she's fucking hilarious, but she's the most foul-mouthed little kid you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah, I think you've told me about her, dude. Yeah.
And she's fucking super fucking funny. And she's really clever and gets a lot of the issues that are going on right now.
Yeah.
But
Precocious.
she moved on from doing that, like the Let's Plays, to doing like skits and doing all sorts of other stuff because she's just like, I just can't keep doing the same old shit.
Right. Yeah, no, it's got to get fucking tedious.
And that's just like a 13-year-old kid. I think YouTube is kind of, because there's like this weird demand, like, with Dade, like he still wants to see more of like the angry video game reviewer.
Yeah, the angry video game nerd. That dude's fucking. Have you seen him? Have you seen all of his shit? He's fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah, but like that guy eventually, I'm sure, is like, I'm done with that fucking character again. I gotta move on.
Yeah. No, he does a lot of he does really good like movie reviews and shit now, dude. Especially like old monster movies and shit like that. He does a really good job, dude.
I've seen a little bit of his stuff. I don't dislike it. I just don't really watch that kind of content in general.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, if you you've seen some of the old ones though, where he plays the shit horrible games of like from the old Nintendo, and fucking just goes off on them.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the stuff is funny. It's just I don't generally watch that kind of content. So like I usually watch more like like Let's Players that really play the game.
Oh, right.
I mean, I used to watch Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter, who kind of played it for fun and would not really be too serious.
Right.
But a lot of the times I like to see people actually play the games because I like to see what the games are like because I'm looking at what games do I want to buy.
Yeah.
Always looking for new games to play. But
yeah. I wasn't sure if you were talking about the what he does now or the shit back then. That's kind of why I was asking if you watched him.
His taste in video games and my taste in video games is not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're watching like reviews and stuff, people that really genuinely like work out, is this game a good game or not? You got to watch people that have similar.
Are we talking about Cinemasker now, or are you talking about
Angry?
Yeah, I was just talking about he's not the thing I was talking about. He's not reviewing games. He's trashing shitty games, dude, from fucking the Nintendo 8-bit era.
Oh, then I must not have seen those ones.
Yeah, it's games from like the original Nintendo system that came out in like the 80s, dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, then I don't think I saw those. Okay, no, I didn't.
There's pretty good games, but there was a lot of shitty games back then, dude.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But yeah, he'd fucking play them and just go off on them, dude. It's fucking hilarious, dude. Yeah, that's why I was asking. I thought you were talking about the what he was doing now, which is again more movie reviews and shit like that. Just straight up movie reviews.
Well, you got to remember, man, I'm fucking out of it. So
I'll try to find one that I can send you because again, some of them are just goddamn hilarious, dude.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I might enjoy them. I don't think I've seen them.
Yeah, I'll try to pick out a good one for you.
Using it with something else.
Yeah, but yeah, the other one I really want to watch the Sargon and Medic are going back and forth. Because I found it. I was just like, I don't get it, dude. Again, Sargon being up his own ass, absolutely agree with. I have for a long time, but again, like he's still trying.
Medic was really, really funny for a while, but I don't know. The stuff started getting more and more mean spirited.
Yeah, it really is, dude. It seems like he's getting like bitter,
like funny.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what he's going to do going forward. Because I definitely see what you're talking about. And again, maybe he's getting tired of his fans.
He's trying to get the Kumite real big. He really likes that.
Yeah.
Really pimping that out.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, dude. Yeah, I don't understand.
Fucking garbage dumpster fire sells, man.
Yeah.
Tons of people watch the Jersey Shore, entertaining. I got nothing against it. If you want to watch it, watch it.
Yeah. Again, I enjoyed it for a while. I couldn't. It's not something that I could continue watching forever, obviously, but I get the entertainment aspect of it. I'm just shocked that people continue to watch it, I guess.
And Base Mama went on and she enjoyed it. That's cool. I don't really care. Right. I'm just like, to me, I'm not going on because I feel like.
No, it'll be fucking, again, if anyone out there who's, I don't know why you'd be listening at this point, unless you're a fucking spy, but.
You're a fucking spy.
It would be exactly like it would be worse probably than the one he did with Ranting Monkey, which was just it was fucking pointless.
Did Ranting Monkey yell?
Did he? Not really, but he didn't say anything particularly intelligent either. Like it was one of those ones where like you both should get losses for this. Like it was just fucking horrible.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I imagine I would just be like, I don't like you. What's your point?
Right. Yeah. It was. There was again nothing accomplished.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. If I even stayed on, I mean.
Yeah, they both looked foolish, basically. From what I saw. In fact, I think that was the last Kumite I watched. I think that's when I was kind of done. I'm like, this is not.
You got to remember, I work in mental health, man. He's never going to get a rise out of me.
Yeah. Well, it's he would never. What I'm saying though is he's got so much anger built up over so long that it's going to go just like that ranting monkey one did. Worse, it's going to be and again, I understand why you wouldn't go on there. It'd be fucking insane to you. And again, and I know you well enough to know you're not fucking ducking it. You just know how pointless it would be to do it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go on so you can fucking yell at me and talk. He would fucking basically,
Well, and it's delusional shit too. It's like, I'm not invested in this.
Yeah.
I find that's why it makes me laugh. I mean, the whole thing where he's getting reports about what we say is fucking hilarious to me. Like, that was just bizarre.
That was pretty eye-opening. I gotta be honest with you.
And then I got to fucking troll the shit out of people with, like, do you get decoder rings? Do you wear a trench coat? Or secret handshakes? I think AP got a little bit of a laugh out of that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, AP's all right, man. Like, again, he's still.
I don't know. I don't hate him. I don't like him. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's it's probably not the best introduction to him.
I'm sort of neutral. I just
Yeah. It's probably too late to get you to watch their videos then, because their videos are pretty funny, dude.
If the cartoons, I'll eventually check out the cartoons. Like, you guys have talked those up really good.
Yeah,
I did watch like a hangout thing that he did, and I just wasn't really into it.
Those are kind of hit and miss.
So that might have been the issue. I think it was either failure or I don't remember. It was something that I didn't really care for, so that might have been the issue.
I'll look it up, dude. I'll try to find one for you that's just them doing the little cartoon sketches, because they're funny dudes, man. Ghastly sounds exactly like Jeff Ross, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Ghastly is hilarious. Like, I will absolutely say Ghastly is hilarious. So's AP. They're very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to like somebody to enjoy their work. Like, I think Christopher Titus is fucking obnoxious, but his comedic routines are fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Same with Jim Jeffries. Jim Jeffries is a fucking idiot, but he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he was. I don't know.
He was. You're right. I don't really like his newer stuff, but his older stuff is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. He got that fucking SJW bullshit in his head, and that just makes everyone not funny, dude.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. It kind of kills comedy. Titus, I don't think Titus has been infected on quite that same level. I think he's just a genuinely good guy.
Yeah,
who just doesn't really
some differing opinions.
Doesn't really understand a lot of like realities.
Yeah, and I think that's an issue for a lot of people, entertainment wise. Whether it's entertainment. Athletes, they don't really live in the real world, dude.
Yeah, they the gated communities and fucking private security, and
it's not even that shit. Even before they get to that point, they're dudes that fucking, especially comics. Like, you fucking basically sleep until noon or 1 every fucking day. You get up whenever the fuck you want, really. And then you fucking, work till the fucking wee hours of the night in comedy clubs and shit. It's not something that the average person experiences. And I don't think it gives you you're doing this in the real world, but you're not really living the way most people live. It gives you a skewed perspective.
I think it's interesting. Joe Rogan talks about that on his podcast every so often. And I'll occasionally watch Joe Rogan stuff, although he started to get kind of like a little weirdly SJW from my taste.
Yeah, I haven't watched much of his shit lately, although I really like him, dude. I really like Rogan.
Oh, his comedy is phenomenal. But that's one of the things where he talks about it. He's like, it's really sad to see some comedians succeed, because then suddenly they're in this like totally different world and they can't really relate to everyone else, and their jokes become about shit that just doesn't fucking matter to anyone else. He's like, make it funny and relatable if you're really good and you're really skilled as a comedian. but it's not as good quality of entertainment because you're just telling jokes about being on an airplane and in hotels,
right?
And you gotta have something that grounds you in the real world so that you can actually connect with your audience to make jokes about things that you share, because that's where the really, really amazing jokes come from.
Yeah, I think Chappelle still does a really good job of still being funny.
Oh, his shit was fucking amazing. Hilarious. The stuff he put out on Netflix.
Yeah, dude.
I never really watched his show. I kind of need to go back and find a way to watch all the old Chappelle Show stuff because,
dude, those were fucking, oh my god, epic, man. Yeah, the Chappelle Show was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen anywhere, man.
Yeah, it was really spectacular. What year was that?
I'm not good with years, dude. I'm fucking horrible.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't ask me years, dates, any of that shit. My brain does not do that well, man. It'll remember an obscure Beavis and Butthead episode and have me want to base a character off of him, but I can't remember dates, dude. Don't ask me when the Beavis and Butthead episode started.
2003. Yeah, I wasn't really watching TV after like 2002, 2001.
But it was some all-time great kind of shit, dude. Just fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah, I think I'd moved out. I was just getting over being like a straight edge piece of shit, and
gotcha.
I was living with some people, and I didn't fucking watch cable TV at all. I think it's also I think it's really close to when I just started watching like stuff on the internet almost entirely. I don't think I watched TV more than like, I don't know, maybe 10 hours total in 2017, if that.
Damn, dude. That is pretty crazy.
I don't watch TV. It doesn't interest me. I can tell where all the stories are going.
Yeah, I definitely have that issue too with movies. I think I've talked about that here, about how fucking with my ex, I would be like, I'd tell them what's going to happen, and they'd be like, "Oh, have you seen this before?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't seen it before, but it's fucking obvious. Like, of course this is going to fucking happen." Like I said, I'd get real fucking excited. I'd be like, "Holy shit, I didn't know that was going to happen." But again, that was incredibly fucking rare, dude.
Like I know I'm watching stuff on Netflix that's from like Germany and fucking like France and like all these non-English speaking countries because they have different tropes.
Right.
So you have like
cultural
issues coming up. It's actually more entertaining.
Yeah,
I mean, you can read subtitles, but
yeah, it's a small price to pay, dude.
But it's more interesting. It's why I started watching anime. It's a whole different set of tropes.
Different culture. Right.
Makes it a lot more entertaining to watch. At least for me. And it's not that I don't enjoy any of the other stuff. It's just that, they've become so fucking repetitive in their stuff. It's not really different.
Yeah, it's just different skins essentially for the same old shit.
Yeah, because they're just trying to make money. They're not trying to make art.
Yeah, they play it safe, dude, and they just kind of rehash shit in a different form.
Yeah, and whereas to me it's sort of like the corporate takeover where essentially like 3 or 4 companies own like almost all of the media that we consume, and so it's like they just want to pump money out. They don't want to fucking create like an amazing show or an amazing movie.
All right. Yeah,
they're the only ones that decide whether or not to fund it.
Yeah. See, in the good old days, they used to actually let people take risks on shit, even if they weren't sure if it was going to make money or not. And now it's all sequels and fucking
through the reboots and shit. The 70s, 80s, and 90s, there were all these little studios popping up, and if they made a good movie or a good show, they could get a new channel on cable or a fucking movie studio getting off the ground and becoming competitive with all the old movie studios.
Right.
But now all of it's owned by the same people, so there's no more real competition. That's the issue.
Yeah.
They don't need to make art. They just need to make something that's good enough to get butts in the seat.
Yeah, that's why it's all franchises and licensed shit like comics and, that kind of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy, don't get me wrong, but Yeah,
well, sitcoms were great when they were a new thing, but now they're always the same bullshit. It's like they haven't moved to the next thing, whatever the next thing could be.
Yeah, and they don't want to. They want to fucking continue to again reskin old shit.
Well, and then reality TV to make money. So profitable.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. Reality TV is so fucking profitable because those reality stars don't make shit.
Yeah,
they barely get paid compared to fucking regular actors and actresses on shows and in movies, and the production cost is almost nothing.
Yeah, it's true. It's just setting up a shitload of cameras and then just recording hours and hours.
Special effects. There's no sets. It's all just fucking. We're gonna get a bunch of idiots drunk and watch them fight for fucking an hour.
We're watch them fight and fuck.
Yeah, exactly. For an hour. I forgot the fuck part. My bad.
That's always a big seller. You gotta remember the fucking part, dude.
Fucking.
Smash, whoosh.
Yeah, it's so sad because it's just like.
Yeah, fucking artistic shit is just done, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you listen. Well, you can still find it. You just have to find like independent films, and
you got to really search for it.
Watch things on YouTube because it's essentially like little mini independent films in a lot of cases.
Yeah, that is one of the positives, man. Is pretty much anybody can put out what they want.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully this thing where basically YouTube is trying to turn YouTube into TV will pass. Like I'm really hoping either it passes or another platform gets enough popularity to at least somewhat compete.
Yeah, it does kind of seem like YouTube's trying to team up with the old TV shit when they really should be letting it die.
Trying to team up. I think the old TV shit just bought it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Essentially.
Yeah. Which is sad because if they didn't, they could probably pretty much crush them, dude.
Well, you really fucking make them destroy TV.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of sad to kind of give them an in.
Netflix is good about a lot of the original Netflix series are actually really interesting and different.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't watched the Punisher one. Have you watched any of the Punisher yet?
I've watched the whole thing of Punisher, and I really enjoyed it. But it was
formulaic.
It really lacked the action, in my mind.
Wow, that's crazy.
There was a lot more feelings and shit than I really wanted.
Oh wow!
And
Jesus Christ!
Like, it was still good. It was still interesting because it was a really interesting story, and they kept they kept some action in there. I just would have liked more action and more like him just going out and killing the bad guys kind of thing. But
yeah, it's a fucking Punisher. Yeah. I really wish they would do the storyline of like back in the I guess it would have been late 80s, early 90s. There was a point where he kind of snapped. I don't know if I think I've talked to you about this, but it got to the point where any crime at all, he was trying to execute motherfuckers. Like if they fucking jaywalked or they fucking littered, like he was trying to fucking shoot them and kill them, dude.
Oh,
I thought that would have been an interesting storyline.
Beautiful. No, this was all about how he felt terrible because his wife and his kid are dead, and kept going into that. And then he's helping this other guy who was essentially like framed up because he found the truth about the Punisher situation.
All right.
He's hoping that guy get his family back. And so it's a lot of like these like brooding, dark, emotional issues. I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, hopefully they're doing more than one season, right? Like they're going to keep doing it, right?
So part of what kept me going was there was enough action to keep it worthwhile. So the action that they did have was fun.
Right.
But it felt like they were setting up for like a much bigger, more like crazy fucking storyline for the next go round, essentially.
So like it looks like it's a positive direction, or it
looks like it was going in a good direction.
Yeah. No, it's promising. I guess, yeah, an entire season of kind of setting up that shit seems extreme. Like, it seems overkill. Like, it seems like you could do it in a few episodes. You know what I mean?
Well, and I also got to wonder if they're just fucking leading me on.
Yeah, that's true, and it's not more touchy. I mean, if you're going to try to appeal to the widest audience, I guess you got to throw a lot of that shit in there.
Not as
but
much as they throw in.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, you know who's going to watch? I appreciate you wanting to have everybody watch it, but you got to lean a little bit in the direction of the fans, like the people that read comics that are into Punisher.
I couldn't get through Daredevil at all.
All right.
I got like maybe 5 episodes into Luke Cage, and that got the same bullshit. It was just like I'm done.
Yeah. How about Jessica Jones? Did you watch Jessica Jones?
Jessica Jones was great from beginning to end.
Yeah,
I love Jessica Jones.
I fucking love that.
I love
such a great job, dude. Yeah, I haven't watched that.
It was a lot of fun. It's a little slow to start, but they kept a pretty good mix of action and other stuff and storyline and weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all just like emotional turmoil bullshit.
Right.
It was a little bit emo, but not nearly as bad as like Luke Cage or Punisher or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And when they were doing it, it made more sense because here's this guy who basically never dealt with the trauma of losing his family in like a plane crash that he survived,
So
that stuff would come up and he would just be like very immature about handling things. And you're like, oh no, that makes sense. He never really grew up.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes sense. This is partly him growing up and learning. But even though he has all this amazing power, he's still kind of like a teenager in his head.
Yeah, it's kind of Arrested Development kind of thing.
Yeah, and it made sense. Like, so it really worked for the storyline. But like the Marvel's Defenders, I think it was where it was Jessica Jones and him and Luke Cage and Daredevil. Was like, it was like okay, I guess. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't really that great. I would have liked more action.
I got to get back into the fucking Netflix, dude. I've been spending too much time watching YouTube bullshit. I'm missing a lot of this shit, dude.
Well, that's one of the things. I like to take breaks from watching all the YouTube stuff, man.
Yeah. I think I need
the drama stuff. I'm not really watching any of those people anymore, just because I don't fucking.
Right.
I'll probably stop following like.
No, it's got burned out. I'm already
on Twitter too, just so like it's fucking boring at a certain point.
Yeah. Yeah, I get kind of burnt out on it, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's
and I kind of do that with Twitter, man. I'll go like, I'll go like today. I think I tweeted a bunch, but like most days, I don't fucking respond to very much, and I don't even look at Twitter that much. But then I'll have days like every once in a while, like today, where I, for some reason, just happen to be on there a lot and happen to fucking respond to a bunch of shit.
Well, the thing that's tough for me is I'm watching essentially a lot of people who I used to have a lot of respect for fall into these weird ideological echo chambers that are just not really that great. Like
it's the horseshoe shit. They're falling into what they used to fucking fight against, dude.
And it's the same sort of mentality, and it's not very fun to watch. It's like, well, now you kind of fucking suck,
it is
man.
Disappointing. It's really disappointing, dude. Really disconcerting, man.
And it's weird to watch the gotcha mentality. Like I never would have expected the gotcha mentality to turn on itself like it has.
Yeah,
that's sort of like we got you.
Right. Yep. Like I said, I'm trying to find a whole new fucking crew to watch, dude, because it's just gotten sad, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I almost want to go back and watch just the people that are doing anti-theist shit or atheist shit, which is kind of what got me started in that direction to begin with. That got me into that, and then that got me into the SJW bullshit and anti-SJW bullshit, whatever. But anyways.
Well, like, what is it fucking it's weird how suddenly they can't call out like the weird like right wing alt right sort of descent into sort of this weird white fucking nationalism.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you watch Lauren Southern and Faith Goldie, and they're like racism light. Like, I'm not.
Have they? See, I haven't seen much of them anymore. I stopped watching them a while ago.
So there's a lot of.
So it's almost like what they would call the dog whistling.
Well, they make a lot of good points about how you can't let Canada become like Europe and stuff, and so I totally understand where they're coming from.
Right.
But it's almost like they're starting to kind of be like, and maybe, just maybe, like white people are better, like a little bit.
So it's a dog whistle. It actually sounds like it's getting to be like a dog whistle type thing. Yeah, the thing they always accuse them of, they're almost becoming.
Yeah, it's not there yet, but it feels like it's headed there. That makes sense.
Well, it probably sounds like they want the fucking alt-right white nationalists to think that they're supporting them, if that makes sense, without coming out and saying it. I think
it's more insidious than that. I think people's inability to compromise and this widening political divide is causing people, at least subconsciously, to feel like, well, I have to make a choice. And if I have to make a choice between these incredibly racist, intolerant social justice warrior types who want to destroy my way of life and my culture and take away my shit, and these sort of halfway racist, alt-right types who are like, white people should be proud and white pride, and maybe the Jews are bad, and like just they're sort of like
we're not 100% either way. We haven't decided the Jewish question, the JQ, yet.
Yeah, but it's like, well, maybe we should, if I have to choose, these people at least are not going to fucking screw me over.
I it's an interesting
in that direction because people just are so extreme.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think it's infected everybody. This mentality of anybody who's disagreeing is the enemy. Like it used to be just the leftists that had that weird mentality, and they used to get mocked for it. We used to fucking mock them for it, and now it's infected everyone, dude. Everyone seems to have that mentality of if you disagree with me at all, you are my enemy. Instead of just somebody that disagrees with you, that's probably a decent person.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I think people are losing sight of the fact that most people just want to make the world better.
Right.
Whatever their personal beliefs or however they think that we should go about it may not necessarily match up, but I don't think that I think that probably the most of the people in these SJW groups genuinely think they're trying to improve the world.
Yeah, they're just seeming a little misguided a lot of times, but yeah. Although I think a lot of the SJWs, there's still a good chunk that are just virtue signaling assholes. But again,
there's definitely always going to be that. But I think, because the left wing basically has become like a support base for them.
Right.
And I think the left wing is sort of like, no, we're just ending racism. No, we're just getting rid of sexism and intolerance. And it's like, no, that's really not what you're doing.
Yeah, dude.
You're creating it.
Yeah, when you get them talking about, it's their lack of pragmatism that seems to be the real issue. It's like when you start talking about stopping the separate genders for sports. Soccer teams should be intersex, on the professional level. Like, it's ridiculous, dude. That's stupid.
The players, they'd be like, "Look, women can't fucking compete. There'd just be no women."
Yeah. Dude, listen to this. The U.S. women's soccer team, best in the world, right? They fucking scrimmaged against the under 15 club group from the MLS club in Dallas. Yeah. And those guys beat them. The dudes under 15 group, so basically freshmen, like freshmen, maybe sophomores, beat them 5-2.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's an under 15 club team, dude. That's not even an under 15 national team. That's shitty MLS group under 15.
People want to pretend that makes sense, but can you imagine co-ed football teams?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude.
Even there's really good reasons why they're separated.
Yeah. When you got a bunch of 15-year-old dudes beating the best women's soccer team on the fucking planet, it's pretty obvious that there's a difference, dude.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a bad thing. It's just
it just is, dude. You don't have to assign a fucking value, a good or bad value. Yeah. It just is, dude. It's just the way that it is. You can't fucking legislate it, and you can't force it.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was pretty much it. You can't force this fucking, equity. I shouldn't, not equality, equity, equality of outcome.
Yeah, you can't legislate. Yeah, you can't legislate that and expect it to work because there's a lot of people who just aren't going to put any work in, and why should they get all this benefit?
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude. Yeah. Oh fuck! It's 3:00, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think we've pretty much wound down.
Yeah, I think we're gonna repeat.
Probably put a stop to this travesty.
Yeah, we'll put in timestamps for the spies, I guess.
Oh yeah,
we'll go back and put in timestamps for you guys. Not really. Sure, fuck you. You have to suffer through the shit.
Anybody who's willing to watch our whole show for that is, fucking congratulations, man. You're awesome.
Yeah, you should really be questioning what you're doing with your life, dude. If you're actually watching this show and reporting back to people on what we said about somebody, dude. Man, I guess
it's pretty hilarious. Well, we have another viewer. I don't know who it is though, but we're gonna be taking off now. So
yeah, it's probably Akinaro just fucking hanging out.
Probably Akinaro.
All right, so Akinaro, whoever you are, mystery guest. Thanks for stopping by, but we are out of here.
All right.
Bye-bye.